What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm your host, Rome, alongside the usual co-host, Forrest, but also joined here in person in the game room, Devroro.
Hey, what's up? First time here. Welcome.
Oh wow, he's actually there. What the fuck?
No, he's here in the room.
Yeah.
This is what not virtual guys do. They drive to each other's house and they record podcasts.
Okay, first of all, you're
I know about it. But anyways, we have a awesome show lined up for everybody tonight. We're going to be talking about the Xbox Developer Direct that got officially confirmed. PlayStation VR 2, is it really going to be that good? And we're going to also be talking about Skull and Bones, the delay, and what's going on with Ubisoft. So Dev, this is your first time here on the show. Basically, with the way we go about the shows, we start with kind of getting everybody caught up to speed with the news headlines of the week.
the Activision Blizzard merger. That is our news every single week.
I believe it.
There is. Well, it's just that. So we're at the stage of the deal where there's just news about it every single week. Real quick before we get into things, oh no, Devroro, you're lighting. I wanted to give a shout out to producer Jeff, who's on the ones and twos. You gotta move that a little bit. You're killing me. Oh my goodness. Amateur, just such an amateur going on right now.
Amateur lighting. I came here.
Anyways, no, it looks fine. So yeah, let's get right into the news headlines. Producer Jeff says we look good, so that's good. All right, Devroro. Now, Forrest was here for this. Forrest, do you remember the gamers' lawsuit against Microsoft and Xbox against the Activision Blizzard acquisition?
You mean the thing that Sony made up?
No, the one that with the gamers that are suing the just the regular everyday.
Like all 10 of them or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
All right. So
and now YouTube is like what?
Okay, so we're gonna get into why that's the case, but so just to get you caught up, like we were talking with Forrest, so a few weeks ago, a group of gamers have come forth and they are suing Xbox to try to stop the Activision Blizzard merger. They do claim that they are mostly PlayStation and Nintendo gamers. One of them says they're an Xbox gamer. I don't believe that for one fucking second. But so basically, they sued 10 of them. You're gonna have to give up with that. That's not working for you, is it?
It was working for like a whole half hour.
Anyways, folks, let's get into it. So, let's see here.
I got a blanket. I'm ready. I'm waiting for you guys to start arguing.
Yeah. So part of the court hearings involving random gamers suing Microsoft over its Activision Blizzard acquisition may be broadcast via YouTube. Last acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Now it appears that part of that lawsuit could be broadcast for all to see via YouTube.
Do it.
The lawsuit will be heard. Sorry, what did you say?
I said do it. I'll live react to it.
The lawsuit will be heard in the Northern District of California, according to Foss Patents, a blog run by litigation advisor Florian Mueller. The court of the district offers second-to-none transparency. Because of this transparency, parts of the case could be broadcast on YouTube. Quote, that high degree of transparency involves that judges don't let parties over-redact their filings, and that key hearings may be broadcast via YouTube. Mueller writes on the blog, indicating that parts of the lawsuit, but not the whole lawsuit itself, may be broadcast online. Deborah. Forrest, what do you guys think about these gamers? I just love that it's like that's what they're being referred to, the gamers that are suing Microsoft.
I can't wait. Isn't there a countersuit for frivolous lawsuits?
The thing is, I believe that they're actual gamers. I believe that there are Sony fanboys out there who are legitimately like. I don't think it's actually Sony. I think it's Sony fanboys who are like somehow getting angry over this acquisition. To me, that's ridiculous. Like,
it's like they don't want to admit that they're actually They're like, ooh, we like games on Xbox, but we're Sony lads. But today we're gonna say we're Xbox gamers because it's also like, in what basement did they find them? I know one of the basements is in New Jersey, but the other basements, Like, where did they find
Like, this
these 10 elite gamers
Yeah,
that are just not gamers? Like, what the?
it's a $70 billion acquisition. Like, they're pennies in this conversation. Like,
I don't even think
Bruh.
Microsoft really like put a lot of time into it.
no,
They were
there's
just
no point.
no, they didn't.
Let them, it's like, I was like, let them have their lawsuit. Like,
Yeah, like nobody's nobody.
Bro,
I just love it.
who got that? I'm like, okay, yeah, great, cool, good for them for having this lawsuit. That's amazing, good for them. Who's funding it? And also, you're going against Microsoft in a funding war.
yeah,
Good luck with that one, buddy.
Yeah,
All 10 of you. Good luck with that.
I can't wait. I hope it's on YouTube because you see
Hey.
like all 10 of them in the courtroom and they're like just like in Last of Us t-shirts and like they've got like PlayStation hats, kind of like this hat, but it's like the PlayStation logo instead.
Yeah,
Um,
I want them to the YouTube it to say I want that kind of coverage they did for the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, but
Yeah.
just for these 10 gamers just getting dunked on by generic Xbox lawyer. Like I hope they defend themselves too. That would just make it even better. They're just like, yeah, no, we're gonna present our own case, and then like the lawyers just starts laughing. That would be
yeah, it's almost comical. Like,
well, I can assure you that we here at the Game Room Podcast will absolutely be covering this live case as it unfolds.
and I will be laughing.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
This is good
Oh.
content. This is good, stupid American content. Let's do it.
This is the content I live
it's
for.
already painful.
It's Deborah just got here. He's been here for 8 minutes. He's like, oh boy, the light's fallen twice, and
Like how there's only production errors on his half too, and you guys are in the same room.
Well, so to be fair, like some behind the scenes stuff, like we were trying to make it work where we were both going to be on one camera, and we're just going to make do this week.
I like this.
Yeah, what we have now just it needs a little bit of an upgrade, but
It'll be better next.
it's gonna be
Especially with lighting.
Yeah, it's gonna get better. Bear with us. Anyways,
Maybe
moving
I'll come do one in person with y'all. We'll do a special.
I'm just expecting the ghost boy to be sitting right here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The ghost boy. You mean Baki?
Yeah, Baki. Sorry, I don't know.
Bro,
I forgot Baki's name.
dude, that's just my shadow with attitude.
I guess
It's
so.
all
Well,
good.
you're probably sitting here in the Fallout for the whole podcast, just like, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Next up, PlayStation VR 2. The Oculus founder tried it out recently, and he's blown away by it. Following comes from IGN. Oculus founder Palmer Luckey has revealed he was blown away by Sony's upcoming PSVR 2 virtual reality headset. Replying to a tweet from head of PlayStation Indies Shuhei Yoshida, Luckey said that he had the chance to try the new headset recently and has high expectations for its future. Quote, I was blown away when I used PSVR 2 recently, he said. The first PSVR was arguably the biggest success of the generation, and this version will do even better. PSVR 2 will seemingly be a major upgrade over the original headset, not just because it's being released 7 years later, but due to the inclusion of brand new VR-specific controllers. The upgrade in tech has naturally created an increase in price. However, as where the original PSVR was the best budget headset on the market, PlayStation VR 2 costs $550 US, with $50 more required for the. It's $50 more expensive than a PS5 itself.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys, so like, Dad, we talk about VR all the time.
Yeah, so for me, the price actually makes sense because of how good of a VR headset it is. And like getting a VR headset with all that specs and just a PC like market, that 50 is like a good price. So like I can see why it's so expensive. It is like $50 more, but there's a lot of tech packed into that where it makes it worth it. Or if you have the money, it makes it worth it.
See, and that's the kicker right there, is that it's really expensive, and you need a PS5 to play it.
Yeah.
I think that,
But if you're already into VR and you're doing it on PC, $1,050 is cheap compared to like.
Oh no, it's not. $1,050. That's the price of a PC.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine doing PC VR where you need the PC and a headset.
It's $2,000.
Yeah, exactly. If you
For
do it on
anything
PC,
decent.
$2,000. Yeah.
No, so I'm in the other camp of like, honestly, run it through the console.
They are.
They are, but the headset itself is $550, and that's the problem.
Okay, no. 550 is for okay.
For the headset,
So,
it's $550.
if you have the PC, right?
Mhm.
If you have the PC, you 9 times out of 10, you can use your like let's say Sony's it's Sony 550.
Yeah. Sony's is 550.
So
The
Sony, you can there is stuff that you can adapt it to your computer. You can also use it on your console. You can do both.
Well, that's what I'm
So, you know, it's a less barrier of entry.
So
It,
here's the thing.
the the $1,000 one ain't worth it. I ain't gonna pay
No.
for 2.
What I was saying is $1,050 is for a PS5 and the headset. If
Oh,
they come like a bundle package, but what I'm saying is
okay. No,
usually
I like that.
yeah. So like and the headset itself, right now it's gonna be console locked. Like you can only use it on PS5, you can't use it on PC. But down the road, if either Sony side where they let it use on PC
They
or
won't do that.
or it gets hacked, like the PSVR 1 got hacked and they use it on PC. If you can use the PSVR 2 on PC, they're gonna sell that like hotcakes because
Well, they're gonna so essentially you're saying we gotta wait until there's a jailbroken one.
Yeah, and you're getting a really good headset for console price. It's just
To be fair, yes, but okay, so that's waiting, and at that point, the actual one will probably come down too by then. By the
Yeah.
time they finally jailbreak it,
But the thing is, like, I don't think it's a smart business strategy to, like, hey, when they jailbreak this shit, we're gonna sell a lot. No, they don't want to do that. They don't want you to jailbreak it. So I mean, like, looking at it from their
they want you to
perspective,
get a PS5.
they want you to drop that 1,050 and then the $60 or $70 for each game.
Yeah.
Like that's what they want you to do.
It's one of those things where if you're in the PSVR, if you're in the VR market, you see that as like that's
Oh
a
yeah,
big deal.
there's an audience
But
for it.
for new
Absolutely.
entries, that's a lot to ask for people in
Right.
coming out there. But also,
how
their
much
only
is
other
it
option
in
was to make the
America?
headset worse and cheaper. Like
Sure, and I get that. And I find myself in that situation where I don't like. I really want to get a VR headset. It's been a few years. I think the technology's kind of where I wanted it to be for me to kind of jump in, really.
yeah.
In terms of a home option, a home alternative, not alternative.
Dude.
But it's just it's a lot, 550, and then I have to buy the games.
Dev, what's a good price for like what's a good VR headset? Because you know more about this than I do.
So
Like, what's
a good one would be I guess,
Oculus?
yeah, the biggest one on the market is Oculus 2. And
Yeah,
they're
Quest
400
2.
they're $400, 500 for higher RAM, more memory. And that's a standalone, but they're also Meta loses a lot of money. They sell that as a like
Oh
a
yeah,
discounted
they're
price.
selling
Yeah.
at a huge loss.
Yeah, so I would say if you want to get something good on the PC side,
Oculus.
$100 you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean honestly,
And then the
so
higher ends for like people who are like just do VR, that's in like the thousands, of course. But
Mhm.
if you're like an entry on PC, you want to spend, I would say at least 600. That's why this 550 is like it can be really it can be really good.
F550
So I'm
is
not-
so middle of the road. Like you're
It's
it's
people who have PlayStation 5s who want to get into VR. This is a lot. You're asking them to buy
yeah.
a second PS5.
But you're
Yeah,
essentially buying a
that's what I'm
second
looking at.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right, that's the perspective I'm looking at it from, because that's the perspective I find myself in. You
If
know
it was
what I
a
mean?
bad headset, it would be the opposite. But a lot of people are saying good things about it. So
Well, it launches in a month, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I can't afford it at launch, but you know.
Yeah. Also, once it's jailbroken, so here's what the jailbreak would actually do. So I'm gonna kind of kick the business brain on. Once they jailbreak it, they're gonna the price is gonna drop because they're gonna probably start producing a higher quality one immediately.
yeah, I see that
So-
too.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I will have to keep an eye on the news coming forward. I mean, again, it launches in about a month, and
Yeah.
we'll keep our eyes on it here.
One of the
Yeah,
cool
like-
features I read about it.
The Oculus, bro, I'm
It
like
has
looking at the
controller
Oculus, kind of like.
It has the controller technology in the headset, so like you'll feel like rumbling. Like if there's an explosion to your left, you'll feel the left side of you'll feel like that on your headset. I don't know, stuff like that's cool.
Okay.
So
Your immersion.
yeah, full immersion.
Yeah, I really want to play it. I just
Yeah.
that price tag at launch is going to be really rough. All right,
You could
moving
also
on.
probably. There's a few options. You could this is gonna sound weird. Best Buy might have tech demos of it.
Oh, sure.
So you could really try it out, and if you don't absolutely love it. Also, do you know if VR makes you sick or not?
I tried it a few times and I never got sick personally. So
When you spend long enough in it, it'll make you sick your first couple times.
I'm sure, yeah, but
You got to get your VRC legs.
yeah, right. All right. Next up, well, here we're once again back in it. Nvidia and Google have reportedly voiced concerns over Xbox's Activision acquisition. Following comes from IGN. Google and Nvidia have both reportedly joined Sony in raising concerns to the Federal Trade Commission regarding Microsoft's planned $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, according to Bloomberg. The two companies reportedly contend that by acquiring Activision Blizzard, Microsoft would gain an unfair advantage in the cloud subscription and mobile gaming markets. That said, one source told Bloomberg that Nvidia, at least, is not expressly opposed to the acquisition, though it did stress the importance of equal access to game titles. The report does not elaborate on either company's other specific concerns. Microsoft is currently a strong contender in cloud gaming alongside Nvidia with GeForce, with Google Stadia's program folding this month, actually. In mobile gaming, though, Microsoft has markedly little presence. So, I mean, even in the past, Phil Spencer has gone on record as saying that the biggest thing about this for them, or one of the big things, is the mobile gaming side with Candy Crush and King. So, like, what is your guys' take on this? So, like, me personally, and I know we disagree about this, Dev. I know we do. Whereas, like, for me, this is just Microsoft's competitors are coming out of the woodwork to express concerns. I mean, like the article says, Nvidia, they kind of feud with Microsoft in one industry, and Google, they're also a big competitor of Microsoft's in a whole nother industry.
I actually don't think we disagree too much on this because they are the big competitors for cloud gaming. I mean, it makes sense that they're crying over it. You know, I don't think it's big enough. I think this is more of a step your own game up kind of thing.
Wow.
For these two,
there you go.
They're not. You know, we know what happened with Stadia. They just shut down last year, right?
This year they're shutting down, or this month they're shutting down this month.
Yeah, so it's like
after launching last year, they launched last year.
No one's using your service, not because there's a better service out there. You know, like
get over it.
Yeah. If your service is better, people would be using it.
Yeah, it sounds like Sony might, and this is just speculation on my part. It feels like Sony's stirring the pot to like try and find people. Like I guarantee you, like let's say there's a massive data breach. Let's say 10 Sony gamers, and I'm using air quotes, decide to 10 Sony gamers decide to hack Sony's email, their Gmail account, and they go in and they find that they're shooting emails out to companies, be like, "Hey, how do you feel about this?" Like it just feels like Sony's stirring the pot. Like I like Sony, but like this is the shit I'm always talking about. Punch up, don't punch down.
I agree with that.
I mean, they punch. Microsoft is pretty up in terms of money. Like,
yeah, but they're the third or fourth
world. No, in US, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's 100% right.
Yeah,
Tencent's way bigger.
But this is like this article is like this is about streaming, and Google and Nvidia have had issues. Microsoft has the best cloud streaming. Period.
Yeah, that's just period. Without Activision, it's not about Activision.
And it's still cloud streaming is still in its baby phases. So like you're going to get people. Like, I don't even think Sony had to push that much for this issue in particular.
Exactly. Stadia has failed, so they're sour graping it.
It's failing. It's failing on. People's holding on.
They literally had to put out an update like yesterday. I don't even think it made the news list. They put an update for the controller. So the controller has Bluetooth activated now, so you can use it for other places.
Yeah.
They had to make it so that their controller could be used elsewhere because their Stadia they failed.
Yeah.
The controller was going to be a paperweight.
But that's why I'm saying this like they can fight it, but they have concerns. I get why they're voicing concerns, but again, you don't make a better service and
Word. I agree with that.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, so for Google is so like we got to look into like how they do their business. Google, if something doesn't work in Google, they cut it. So that department isn't going to last much longer anyway. Google doesn't waste time. Google's on to the next thing already. By the time they made the decision that Stadia is gone, they're already working on something else. They're not going to do a Stadia 2. I don't foresee a Stadia 2 or anything of that nature again. I think they're going to actually leave the market and try and go in with somebody. So it wouldn't be against us maybe in our future. We will probably see Google make some kind of gaming streaming deal with Sony.
Maybe you never know.
Yeah, you never know what happens.
I do think that Sony's just kind of lobbying, like they're just kind of going around, just hey, do you have any issues with this at all? Can you just say something?
And it's not, and Xbox is literally just like, bro, who cares? Like, you guys do this shit all the time. Like, we're even saying we're not gonna do what you do. Like, it's annoying.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll just have to see what happens with this, and let's go on to the next one. All right. Naughty Dog will stop announcing games early to avoid studio stress. So
Why is that news?
it's I thought it was noteworthy because it's news coming from Naughty Dog, which right now they're PlayStation's biggest developer alongside Sony Santa Monica. But in an interview with comicbook.com, Neil Druckmann revealed that in the past, Naughty Dog has experienced issues following the early announcement of its projects. It reportedly happened with Uncharted 4, and it happened also, rather infamously, with Last of Us Part 2. He basically went and did this interview, and he said that, they want to make the finest games that they can, and they're probably going to try to avoid crunch culture in the future, and to take their time in announcing games.
I like that. Yeah, I think more gaming studios, should wait before they announce a game. Like, wait until the year before.
Yeah.
Like, stop announcing it. Like, I guess they need hype behind it, but hype dies really fast, and like hype can only keep it going for so long. Like, just wait.
And that's I'm gonna agree with Devroro on this one, because like with hype, it does. Hype has a cycle. And what ends up happening with these early announcements is initial hype, then it dies down, then we wait until it doesn't hype back up. Even if they show us more, it doesn't truly hype back up until we see an actual release date, and then that's the main big hype. That's also when they start their sales campaign. So it doesn't even make sense for them to be saying anything. Don't tell me that you're developing Uncharted 5. I don't care. Show me that Uncharted 5 is coming out next year.
Yeah, that's so more exciting. Like,
yeah, it's like,
like, oh, this game's coming out next year. You get hyped.
And it's guess what? It's how they used to do it.
You know what
And
game
guess what? That we
you know
like
what game cycle was done really well? Fallout 4.
Yeah,
You remember that?
Yeah, but
they announced it specifically Fallout 4 because they announced it at that E3.
Yeah.
And like you're like, holy shit, Fallout 4. Oh, okay, I guess we'll see this in 2 years. And they're like, it's coming out in November. In 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that
was insanely well done.
Yeah.
Was it the best Fallout game? No. It was like the third best, in my opinion. I think 3 and New Vegas were better. New Vegas being the best
Vegas
one.
number 1. I would say it's 2. I didn't like 3 as much as
you get hype behind it, and now you got to put it out early, and then it gets delayed.
Yeah, exactly. I think for me, like, I'm okay with a game getting announced like a couple years out, but it's like you got to make sure you generate that hype cycle properly. You have to make sure, like, I'm okay with give me like a 10-second teaser like a year and a half out.
Yeah,
like give me a title. So just give me like a title card. You know what I'm talking about? Like just like a 20-second thing. Like, hey, this game is in development.
If you do announce it early,
see you in a year.
It's one of those things where if you do announce it early, even 2 or 3 years, don't show it to us until you're ready to put it. Like Fable, we saw one trailer for Fable, and they've gone dark. We know they're still working on it, and hopefully when they do show something, maybe it's out the year after. So like, just show us something, show that you're working on it, and then just go do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also to Devroro's point as well, when they go dark, as he just said, it's they're literally like, I'm thinking back to what was the last press conference, the summer thing. They were like, no news from Fable, or like no news from
Yeah.
XYZ game this year, even though they showed us this last year. And I'm like, bro, shut up. Like
Yeah.
the amount of that's negative press. That's like, oh, okay, so you're not done. So you showed it to us too early. Cool. So you don't know how to do your job. You don't know how to manage your time and expectations. It's like I prefer the year cycle. Tell me a year out. Show me at the E3. Either if you want to do it early, show me at the E3 the year before the E3 that it's coming out. No more than that.
Yeah.
You get 2 E3s to deliver me a game you showed me. That is it. And by that second E3, I better see some gameplay. And if I don't see that, you then like no, you told me too early.
Yeah,
Don't
'cause
like
it's
that's
exhausting.
I don't know what I'm missing until you tell me. And then you tell me and it's closer than I thought. I get even more excited. And then that creates even hyper hype. There's levels of hype. And I'm the king of hype. I know this. Like there are levels of hype. And the closer you are, I remember I'll never forget this advice. Don't what was it? It was a streaming advice, but it actually applies really well to this. Your chat does not give a shit about what's coming. Do it, tell them, and then do it. Do
Yeah.
it, tell them about it, then do it. And that's hyper. Give them a month's notice max so that they can plan their schedule around it. That's it. That's the hype. That's how you do the hype.
Yeah.
You give
I
it
mean,
4 weeks and you ramp it up. You ramp it up. You ramp it up.
'Cause nothing sucks worse than being tired of a game that you never even played. You
Yep.
know?
yeah.
Yup. Yup.
That's a great way to put it. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that. All right. Moving forward, several Forza Horizon developers leave Playground Games and Xbox to form a whole new studio. Um,
Are they also going to make car games? Because I can't care less.
So I personally, we'll talk about it. As reported by Eurogamer, former Forza Horizon 5 creative director Mike Brown will lead the new studio and is joined by 5 other former Playground employees. The development team is at work on a premium open world game for consoles and PC and has already secured significant seed funding. The other developers making the jump to the newly named Maverick Games include Playground's lead producer Tom Butcher, technical director Matt Craven, technical art director Gareth Harwood, audio director Fraser Stashen, and art director Ben Penrose. Quote, for players, we're already at work on an exciting, ultra high quality title, and for developers, we're building a home where everyone is encouraged to take risks, be curious, be creative, be innovative, be themselves, and above all, be a maverick, the developer said. Um, so
That's
Playground Games
worrying.
yeah, so Playground Games has been focusing on Fable actually.
Yeah.
So
Bring up Fable again.
part of me kind of wonders, could this team, and Forrest kind of alluded to it, like, are they just going to make a car game? I mean, if Playground Games is working on Fable and they've been working on Fable for years, I mean, like, could it be a safe assumption that they just want to make car games? Because Forza Horizon is a really good franchise,
Yeah.
really fun open world racing game,
Yeah.
and it really does the open world genre very well. So I mean, like my question to you guys is, did you guys kind of see what I'm saying and agree with me that maybe they just didn't want to work on an RPG game like Fable, and maybe that's why they left?
Yeah, I mean, or they're just maybe they just want to do something on their own. But
Yeah, it happens.
yeah, I'm excited for whatever they're working on. It'll be cool, I think.
Yeah. I think I don't even. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know. It's
I
like,
just hope this is bad news for Fable. That's something.
dude.
that-
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that Fable's fine. I think they're just working on it. They're taking their time. It was kind of what we were talking about in the last news headline. I guess it was a really nice kind of segue into that, where they announced Fable. What was it? 4 years ago? It was
Yeah,
like
I don't
it was the first year of the pandemic, so it was like
Yeah.
4 years ago. So like yeah, like they, they announced it. They've been working on it. Like we've heard some rumblings about Perfect Dark and the initiative. That studio might they're dealing with some issues, but there hasn't really been anything about Playground in a bad shape. I think honestly, Xbox and Microsoft, to their detriment, and it'll pay off dividends. I do think it's going to start paying off this year and onward. But they've been very selective about the games that they're putting out. They want to put out good quality titles, and if that means that they're going to lean on, say, Game Pass or third party releases to get through a year, they're going to do that because they still see it as a profitable thing. Now, I mean, me personally, I kind of find myself at the crossroads of this. I think that if you're going to put out quality content, that's great. That's what you need to do. Have a high bar, but at the same time, you need to manage your studios better. It's been years and like we haven't seen State of Decay 3. Now, granted, there is a developer direct 9 days from now.
Yeah.
So a lot of these questions could be answered. But I mean, there's a lot of questions at Xbox Game Studios, admittedly. We don't know the status of Fable. It's been years. State of Decay 3, the Compulsion Games who made We Happy Few, they've been working on whatever they've been working on since they were acquired before the pandemic. So we're talking like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. So I mean, it's just a kind of a wait and see type thing where it's like, I don't know what's going on with these studios. Maybe we get some updates next week. Maybe we don't. Quality control is great, but I mean, they canceled Scalebound all those years ago.
Yeah.
That was a forest ass game, Scalebound.
That was a forest ass game.
Yeah, I was excited for that too.
Yeah, but again, it's
Dude,
like
that was Monster Hunter Devil May Cry. That's just like, damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So again, next week we're gonna get a lot of these questions answered, and we'll see what comes out of Maverick Games. I think that's what's really gonna be a big telling point.
So-
Like, when they reveal there's this game they're making, what exactly is it? If it's a racing game, if it's like an open world racing game, then you probably know that they just didn't want to work on Fable.
Yeah, I can see that.
So like I don't like that they call themselves that and that's their logo. Because that used to be associated with I think it used to be associated with Logan Paul, I might be wrong. The whole Maverick thing, and right now, don't want to touch that man with a 10-foot pole. I hope he has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But also, Xbox isn't like there's going to be another Forza Horizon. Like they're not putting that title away.
no, they're not.
So
Well, you also got to remember that Forza kind of underwent like a next gen, now current gen upgrade,
that's true.
where we've gone now a decent while since we've seen Forza Motorsport from Turn 10.
Yeah.
So there's a big rumor that that's going to launch this year.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of Xbox's big first party titles. We'll have to see. I mean, I can't wait for this developer direct, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But that developer direct next week could be really, really great.
Is it?
All right, the next one's kind of a small little story. And Deborah, if you want to click on the link for this one, because you're not going to be able to see it otherwise. Toys for Bob, the developer that works at Activision's kind of had them working on Call of Duty, but before that, they did the Spyro games, they did the Crash games, they did what's it called, Skylanders, stuff like that. So they put out a tweet basically saying like 2023, this is our year, we're gonna have a great year here at Toys for Bob. And in this tweet, people have pointed out, so there's 2 games shown in this tweet. And in the bottom left, you can see Ghost from Call of Duty, which they've obviously, as along with all of Activision, has worked on Call of Duty for the past few years. But in the top left, people are pointing out that there's a little Spyro the Dragon with a 25 over his head. People are hoping that this leads to a tease for the 25th anniversary of Spyro, and maybe we get something Spyro this year. People are also pointing out that there's some binary behind him, but I have yet to find any information on what that binary could be.
Okay.
Because it also kind of cuts off in the image,
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, definitely. We got Crash not too long
Bro,
ago.
we're getting a Spyro NFT. Let's do it.
No.
Let's do it. We're getting a Spyro NFT, gamers.
So disappointed.
Producer. So I mean, I'll just let you know now. Producer Jeff right now behind on the 1s and 2s in the background is like, trust NFTs, man. Crypto, man.
25-year Spyro NFT. It's the biggest year, 2023. Let's get it. Toys for Bob, NFT Spyro hitting the market. Fund it with Luna.
Well, let's try to look.
We just made that to so sad.
Yeah, that's not great at all. What
It's sad because it's such a possibility.
It's such a possibility. It's like, Microsoft, please let this deal go through so we can just get a Spyro game.
Yeah.
Like, please.
Bro,
All right. Well, now it's time for one of our big news headlines of the week. So earlier this week, or I guess it was last week at this point because it's Monday, Xbox did confirm that their developer direct is on January 25th. It is a Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific.
Nice.
This is an official release from the Xbox's website. They said Xbox and Bethesda will present a developer _ direct on Wednesday, January 25th, providing fans with an inside look at some of the games coming to Xbox and PC and Game Pass over the next few months. Presented to the game by the game creators themselves from studios including Arcane Austin, Mojang Studios, Turn 10 Studios, and ZeniMax Online Studios. The Developer Direct will focus on big features, extended gameplay showcases, and the latest info for Xbox games launching in the next few months, including The Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall. To dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Bethesda Game Studios' Starfield, a standalone show is currently in the works. They go on to just kind of list the games that I previously mentioned, Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport. They said the team at Turn 10 have been hard at work bringing fans the next generation of Forza Motorsport. Minecraft Legends, Mojang Studios will showcase an insider's look into the PvP multiplayer experience in Minecraft Legends, the upcoming action strategy game from the makers of Minecraft. Redfall, the minds behind Dishonored and Prey, Arcane Austin will showcase several minutes of gameplay from their upcoming FPS. The Developer Direct will reveal single and multiplayer gameplay, showing more of how you and your friends will take down bloodthirsty vampires on the picturesque island of Redfall, Massachusetts. Fans can expect to learn more about combat, customization, bosses, and open world, and more. So, number one, I think that this, just confirming it obviously, was really good for them to do. Thank God that they actually got in front of the bus and said that Starfield won't be at the show.
Yeah.
If they did this show and Starfield didn't show up, people would be panicking.
Yeah.
Just absolutely panicking.
Yeah.
But I do like that they set expectations here. I think that the way that they're going to do this sounds incredible.
Yeah.
I think that while we enjoy the Nintendo Direct structure for just trailer, I think going the other extreme and just like, okay, we're going to sit down for 10 minutes and we're going to show you gameplay.
Yeah. These are the 4 games we're focusing on. Here they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so my big question that I ponder is, will we see more than what they're saying here?
I hope so, because I couldn't give a crap about those things.
So
I'm excited to see Motorsport. I'm not a Motorsport fan. Like Horizon, the Horizon way more.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it because it always pushes the boundary and what looks good.
Yeah.
But I am excited for Redfall. That's the one where I've been watching and I'm on the fence about it. I want to see more because it looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm dying to see Redfall. I really want to see more Redfall. I'm so into it.
They recently said it's less like Left 4 Dead and more like
Far Cry.
Far Cry, yeah. Which I think
I still think it looks great, even if it's not Left 4 Dead.
No, I think it might.
I think it has
what I saw.
Yeah, I think it has the co-op of Left 4 Dead, and that's why people associate Left 4 Dead with it. And I think
it has 4 characters that you can choose from, and that's why.
Yeah, I think so. But I think the game looks incredible. Arcane Austin's put out some great stuff. I'm a big Dishonored fan. I enjoyed those games.
Yeah.
And also I am really excited to see Minecraft Legends. I mean, we enjoyed Minecraft Dungeons. Yeah. We played that, and I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued by this action strategy game. I like strategy games personally. Like Fire Emblem comes out this week. I'm so excited. But yeah, so I'm excited to see those 2 games, and like you said, I'm excited for Forza just to kind of see where we're at graphically with that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have Game Pass, so I'm playing all these games no matter what. So, but
definitely more excited for the Starfield reveal when that happens.
Yeah,
I would have cared if Starfield was on the list. It's cool that it's its own thing, but like, I also don't care that much about Starfield that it needs its own thing. Like this, so I'm a casual. I'm a filthy casual, and I don't care about Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft in my entire life. Like, I'm sure like you said, you played Dungeons and you liked it. I'm not a Minecraft guy. I couldn't give a crap about the car. If the car gets me from point A to point B without breaking down, it's a good car. Excellent. 10 out of 10. Don't care. Also, if it saves me money on gas, good car. That's as far as I get in the cars. Couldn't give a shit otherwise. Dude, I'm still missing a hubcap. Anyway, the Redfall, I can't do scary, so I'm kind of out on that.
The game doesn't look that scary.
Yeah.
Dude, if I get jump scared once, I'm screwed.
I don't think it's that that's scary. Plus, didn't you play Phasmophobia?
Yes, and I stayed in the truck the whole time and stole the people's shoes.
That's like last night when we were playing the Zombicide, and she was on the the dumpster.
I literally, so all the shoes are in the front foyer, and I just kept taking shoes and putting them back into the truck. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm starting a shoe business. I ain't going in that house."
Forrest, I would love for you to play Gone Home.
Oh yeah.
But don't say anything.
I won't.
Wait, what happened?
Forrest, you should play a game. It's called Gone Home.
It's like
You know, I will check it and I will look at the reviews.
No,
I'm not
don't
gonna
check it.
one.
Don't check it. Don't check it. I just want you to like just play it. Just play. If you live stream Gone Home, I will hang out in your live stream the entire
It's
time.
a really short game. You could finish it in one sitting.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
not
I
very
couldn't
long.
do Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. It was literally just
Just
walk
trust me.
forward.
Just trust me.
I don't trust you. That's exactly what.
Trust me? Jeez. That's messed up, man. You should trust me. I'm very trustworthy.
I feel like the game's normal until the very end, and then there's one jump scare or something.
I'm just saying.
I'll tell you, if you play
I
it,
can't
I'll
even
tell
do
you-
Dead Space.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what. Yeah, we could do like a special where like Forrest reviews Gone Home. There you go. Here on the game room.
No. It's just me just cursing the whole time at you.
Hey, man. Like I don't want to comment either way. I just think you should play it.
I
Anyway.
will figure out the vibe within 2 seconds. Is it free?
I don't know if it's free.
Oh, I'm definitely not
Yeah,
gonna play it.
I don't know how much it is on the Xbox store or on Steam.
If you get
not
if you get a stream key, maybe.
I
Then
have it on Xbox. I'll tell you what. Next time you come and visit, we'll play it.
Oh,
It's a
no.
really short game.
It's a short game. It's not long.
Even just me being in the room is enough.
No, it'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. Well, while Forrest is getting his life together, let's move on. All right, so PlayStation has announced the games coming in January to the PS Plus game catalog. Just going to run through it real quick and see if any of those games interest you guys at all. So coming this month to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium members, Back for Blood, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Devil May Cry 5,
Hey.
Life is Strange Before the Storm,
No.
the original Life is Strange, really like Life is Strange and Before the Storm, Jet the Far Shore, Just Cause 4, Omno, and Erica. Coming to PlayStation Premium, PS1 games, Siphon Filter 3, Star Wars Demolition, and Hot Shots Golf 2. So I think that there's a really strong list of titles here. My biggest thing is what I have said about PlayStation Plus is PlayStation Plus is great for you if you've like been in a coma for like 10 years and like you wake up, you're like, I want to play all the video games. Like absolutely you should get PlayStation Plus. But like honestly, is Dev, is there any game on this list that you want to play that you haven't yet?
On the list you just said, no.
Okay, because the same.
Nothing I'm personally interested in.
Yeah, there are good games on this list, but I played them. And what about you, Forrest?
So Devil May Cry 5, if you have not played it, play it. It's amazing.
Sure, but you played it already.
It's arguably the most Devil May Cry. Also, if you get to play as Virgil, 10 out of 10. Though honestly, DBZ Fighters for free.
My point is that you've played these games, correct?
I've never played the Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I'm actually watching what producer Jeff's got up on the screen, and I'm like, I like these kind of games. So I'm like,
Fighter Z is pretty cool.
Yeah, we would play a lot. We would play this a lot.
We would play this a lot.
Yeah, it's a cool game. But again, I mean, it's just like
I guess it's cool for those who
haven't. Yeah, sure, it is, but
it's not something you can buy the service for.
I've been pretty critical about this about PlayStation Plus on the podcast.
Buy the service, get your game, and turn it off.
I bought it. I bought it in May. You were there when I bought it.
Yeah.
I sat up.
What is it? Yeah. So wait. What tier do you need for the PlayStation to get the Dragon Ball Z game?
That's just the extra tier. So it's the middle tier.
PlayStation middle tier
Premium. It's called premium.
premium. It's not premium plus. It's just premium.
Oh, it's PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, PlayStation
Yeah, that's
plus
confusing.
It's very confusing. It's like
Premium.
Game Pass Ultimate. There you go. That's it.
price. Okay, so it costs 1 month subscription is $18 for potentially two $50 games. This download, that's not bad. Because Devil May Cry 5 is a very high replayability game. This is a good month. This is a good month for it, actually. Those are two really good titles.
Their last few months haven't been that great. This is a pretty good month for them, in all fairness, in terms of the games that are actually coming out.
Those are two really good. Because what is it? For the whole year, it's 120. Let's just say 120. And then for 1 month, it's $18. I would just get it for a month. $18. You're getting two games that are still worth $30 each piece on Steam. How much are they on Steam? Now I'm curious. Steam DBZ Fighters price. We're doing math. Okay, it's on Steam. It's still $60. And then Steam DMC5 price. DMC5 price is $30. So you're saving a shit ton of money for like you're spending $20 to get a value of $80. And then just cut the subscription right away.
So to be clear, you have to be subscribed to continue to use the games.
Oh, they're not just downloadable?
No.
Oh, never mind. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Just go buy your own game. Own your games. Own your games, gamers.
Abort.
I thought it. Abort mission.
That was a great 3 minutes. That's just.
Fuck, go back. Go back. Bro, I did all that math for nothing.
I didn't know that you didn't understand that. Yeah. Like at least with Game Pass,
it's not worth it.
At least with
DBZ
Game Pass, you can
Fighters
just.
is worth keeping. Cause
Yeah.
that's just a great party game for when the hardcore fighter fans come over, and you just dunk on each other for like a couple hours. That's peak partying.
Producer Jeff saying that Dragon Ball Fighter Z looks awesome. It does indeed. It literally looks like you're watching the show. It's really good.
Nice art.
It is, and it's an old school. Producer Jeff, it's an old school. It's a 2D fighter. Besides 2D fighter, done by Arc Systems, and they're like the top tier of 2D fighters.
Oh, looks awesome.
All right. So, anyways, enough of the math. And Forrest trying to figure out if PlayStation Plus is worth it or not.
Buy your own games. Do not do this Steam crap.
It's like the meme. It's like the meme where it's like all the math symbols are flying past her head, and like that's Forrest. She's like,
is it worth it?
And it's really I'm just adding up to 100, so it's not even that complicated.
all right. Next up, not related to the topic, but it is Ubisoft. Ubisoft Plus could arrive on Xbox this month, according to a rumor going around. There is a possibility that Ubisoft Plus could be making an appearance on Xbox platforms this month, according to updates made to a string of Ubisoft titles last week. It's been noticed that a string of the titles on the Xbox store were on the store specifically for Xbox platforms had been made free for seemingly no reason. It was more than a year ago that Ubisoft itself stepped out to declare that its advantageous subscription service would be ported to Xbox at some point, but until now, no further news had been shared. This is basically Ubisoft's entire library for Ubisoft Plus, which we're going to talk about Ubisoft later, so I don't want to get too much into it. So this service, I believe, has already been on PlayStation, and I mean, it would be a good idea to get that on Xbox. I mean, maybe they can even strike a deal with Game Pass. Like EA Play has a deal with Game Pass.
I was just about to say that. I think it would make way more sense just to make a deal with Game Pass, put your games on there, because I don't know.
I mean, but
you
Sony,
gotta cut Microsoft a check, but so many more people are gonna play your games that way. Nobody wants to buy another subscription, you know.
But keep in mind, Sony loves shelling out that Assassin's Creed money.
Yeah,
they do.
They
do. Sony definitely called.
Guys, we're forgetting. Those 10 gamers will sue over that too.
Yeah, well, Mr. Sony, he's like, hey, Ubisoft, here's some money. Just keep it off Xbox. Don't put it on Game Pass. Click.
Yeah.
Check in the mail.
I guess.
It's true. It's facts. It's factual. It's literally facts. And it literally happens.
But for legal reasons, it's not facts.
Right, exactly. Right. It's one of those things. It's like the elite on BTE today for us saying like, "Oh, we had a stressful week." Like we know they met with CM Punk. All right, like just stop.
Well, I'm
Anyway,
so out of the loop on anything wrestling. I don't even watch the news anymore.
that's your fault. That's your problem.
You guys though.
Appreciate it.
What time do you guys do your podcasts?
Well, we usually do Wednesdays
Plug.
at 10 p.m. and Fridays at 11 p.m. for the Broken Tables podcast.
Whoa, those are really good times.
Yeah, except for this week, I'm working Wednesday night, so check us out Thursday nights at 8 o'clock.
Hey,
Yeah, there you go.
that's
Or maybe later.
dedication.
We'll figure it out. Anyways,
Is this a trailer for the new one?
I have to look
Producer
at
Jeff?
Producer Jeff. Let's see.
Yeah, this looks like the new one.
Yeah, this is
Mirage,
Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we will talk about as well later. In the meantime, Microsoft announced this past week that they are making changes to the Xbox consoles in our homes in pursuit of carbon negativity.
Huh?
Exactly.
What? What is that?
So Microsoft is on a mission of sustainability for us. You are aware that gaming consoles technically do create carbon, which is bad for the environment, correct?
Carbon negativity. What does it mean to be carbon negative?
Well, it's when you have. What do you
The
mean?
math is appearing again.
Anyways, Xbox has updated their consoles. Users on the Xbox Insider program will notice that their consoles now default to full shutdown mode rather than standby sleep mode. Microsoft has been working to reduce the boot up time of the Xbox Series consoles to a few seconds, even from a cold power off state, and shutdown mode will also retain the ability to update games, apps, and system features overnight. Microsoft says the shutdown mode uses up to 20 times less power than sleep mode, which will multiply carbon savings when scaled up to millions of Xbox users now and in the future. Those that want to keep standby mode will get a new active hours feature to control when and if they want to move their console into a low powered state.
It's like a reverse sleep timer for your TV.
Kind of. So for us to put this in like as basic as we possibly can, all electronic devices, video game consoles, PCs, all that stuff, they do technically hurt the environment.
Yeah.
So basically, the point of this is to make it so Xbox has a more carbon-friendly footprint.
Yeah, no, I'm reading that. So because there's no way to actually go negative, so essentially it's just the most you can do or create programs that will offset more carbon than is being put out.
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's essentially in their case, because there's no way for them to actually offset the carbon. It's to limit the carbon to the lowest possible point, which would be the things that you just said. I really thought they made that shit up. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like carbon negative.
What was that, producer Jeff?
I was saying it sounds like a lot of scientific mumbo jumbo speak to me, where they say a bunch of words you don't understand, but you think you understand them, and you're like, yeah, cool.
Buzzwords.
So this is actually a funny thing. If I recall, this was like years ago. We're talking like a decade ago. I remember reading like an article back during like the 360 PS3 Wii days. I think it was a Game Informer article where I think out of the three consoles, the Wii was actually the worst for the environment.
That makes sense.
Just because like it just didn't care. It's just like I'm a Wii. I'm gonna destroy the world. But what's up to TJ in the chat joining us here live on the Game Room podcast? And thank you to everyone that's currently watching us. Currently at 9 likes. If someone in the chat could help us out and get us to 10, that would be really awesome.
We need to give a shout out to Day Trading Doge though. He had a bomb joke earlier that only producer Jeff and I caught.
Oh, let me see.
When we were talking about Forza, he's like, "I am dog pedal. Paul's no reach pedals."
That's really funny. Oh, Purple's here too. Hi, Purple. Sorry, producer Jeff was supposed to tell me when the chat happened. I just happened to look. Anyways, it's okay, producer Jeff. You're doing a great job with the B-roll. Oh,
Yeah, that B-roll's on point.
Yeah, B-roll is fucking fantastic. All right. This one's kind of a mumbo. I feel like this one's going to end up being like a mumbo jumbo type thing, but I felt like it was worth mentioning.
I learned something.
Yeah, there you go. Amazon Game Studios executive has stepped down as the unit struggles with hit titles. Following from Bloomberg, another executive is leaving Amazon's video game division, which has struggled to produce big hits since it launched a decade ago. John Smedley, who has 3 decades of experience in the industry and ran the Amazon Games Studios office in San Diego for 6 years, told staff Wednesday he's stepping down. Smedley joined Amazon in 2017 and has worked on various projects, none of which have been released. After a lot of thought, I've decided it's time for me to try my hand at something new, Smedley said in an email to staff that was reviewed by Bloomberg. Andy Seitz will step in as studio head while Smedley wraps up and helps with the transition, according to the letter. He says that John is a game industry legend and we're grateful for his contributions to Amazon games over the past 6 years, Amazon said. His team remains focused on bringing their unannounced projects to life. John is committed to staying on until the team is fully transitioned before he moves on to pursue something new. Amazon first launched Amazon Game Studios in 2013 and has spotty success so far, canceling several games and releasing one, Crucible, that was shut down after a month. Current and former employees pinned the blame for Amazon's video game woes on former boss Mike Frazzini, who resigned last year. His successor, Christoph Hartman, has made big bets, such as a deal to publish the next game in the popular Tomb Raider franchise. When I was making the script this week, guys, and I saw that Amazon Games has been around for a decade, I was like, that's not true. There's no way. Because like other than the Crucible, which I remember shutting down after a month, I was like, what else have they put out in a decade? And they haven't put anything out.
No, so what about New World, the MMO?
That's not out yet, is it?
Ark? What about Ark? Lost Ark? Last Ark?
No, Ark's not from Amazon. I don't think it is.
Oh, I thought it was.
Lost Ark is, but not Ark. I think you're thinking of 2 different games.
He's thinking of Ark Survival.
Yeah.
That's not Amazon.
I thought New World was out. I could be wrong. I thought it came out 2 years ago, actually. And that game, I've heard okay things about it, like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 kind of stuff. But like, yeah, there's nothing. Amazon Games hasn't put out anything noteworthy yet. So I can see him leaving out of frustration. You know,
They only published
they only published
Lost Ark was only published in North America, Europe, Latin America, Australia, and New Zealand by Amazon Games.
So TJ in the chat's asking who's the new guy. So this is one of our new.
Hey, what's up?
This is our new co-host. This is Devroro. So Devroro, you know, like we didn't really do an icebreaker or anything. Devroro, what's your favorite game of all time? I'm gonna drop a huge question on you right there. I know, no thought, no plan. What like? What's your like? Just pick a game.
Pick a game.
Just pick a game that you love a lot that you wouldn't like. You know, later down the line you could be like, okay, yeah, that is one of my favorite games.
Yeah, either way, this isn't your top 20. I think we did a top 20.
Yeah, we did do
a
a
while
top.
ago.
We're gonna have to redo it for the podcast at some
Okay.
point. That'll be fun.
I'm gonna say Halo. I'm gonna say Halo 3.
Okay. Yeah, no, I remember
cool.
you loved Halo 3. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good one. I like Halo Reach more. I think Halo Reach is
awesome.
Halo Reach is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But
I think 3 was the peak though. 2 was like the hype. 3 was the top. It was the peak point.
See, I disagree because I love Reach. I think Reach is the best Halo game.
Reach is good, and I think Halo 2 has like the crown. I think as like the most beloved Halo game.
Yeah. Halo 2 is definitely the most beloved. Halo 3 was like he, you know,
That was for me. That was my.
That's the hype. Halo 3 is the hype, and then Reach is like, okay, guys, like we made Halo 2, we made Halo 3. Here's the end of our symphony of Halo, and it's Reach, and Reach is just the best one in my opinion.
Yeah.
To be fair, that was the only campaign I played.
Reach.
So yeah,
It's so
because
good.
you get to make a custom character. Let's go.
TJ says Amazon published Lost Ark, New World, and Crucible. Out of all the big tech companies, Amazon did the best, barring Microsoft, of course.
Yeah.
TJ is pretty knowledgeable. He hangs out in the chat. He's a good guy. But all right, so you know, Amazon. Hopefully, they can keep knocking away and hitting those. Maybe get a hits at some point.
Money shouldn't be an issue for them, you know.
No, it shouldn't be. So, well, like again, they're going to be publishing the Tomb Raider game coming to the next Tomb Raider game.
Okay.
So,
Fingers crossed.
yeah, I mean, and I think not Square Enix, because Square Enix sold Crystal Dynamics. Crystal Dynamics is still making that game, I believe.
Oh, cool.
I believe. Like, I'm not 100% on that. I think we talked about it here on the podcast a few weeks ago. But I don't remember off the top of my head.
Were they bought by Tencent?
They were bought by Embracer.
Embracer.
Yeah.
Another big one. Yeah.
It's just another shadowy figure in the gaming landscape that nobody talks about. Like Embracer, Tencent. They're just gonna pretend these guys don't exist. Like,
Who are they? Who's Tencent and Embracer? What have they done?
Exactly.
I mean, they publish a lot. I think they're mainly publishers.
Tencent has like they're in everything. Like you gotta watch out for them. They're all over. Yeah, big time. Like producer Jeff just said, big time mogul in China. Just kind of similar, like we talk on the Broken Tables podcast about the Saudis and how they were dipping in everything. China's basically doing the same thing. They're just trying to get their hands in all the pots.
Yeah.
Moving on. PlayStation 5 version 7.0 to include Discord and cloud streaming for PS5 games. The following comes from Insider Gaming. Their sources have provided information on what to expect with the upcoming PlayStation 5 7.0 update scheduled for March. The update scheduled for March 8th will include full Discord integration that was revealed back in 2021. I'm kind of surprised it took them that long to get that.
2 years.
Yeah, right? For Discord? Isn't it? It's already available on Xbox.
Yeah.
And PlayStation owns Discord. Didn't
So
they?
wait. So question. Wait, what? PlayStation? I didn't know that.
They did.
But so wait. How is the integration with Xbox and Discord? How is it? Like have you used it?
I haven't used it, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard it's great.
Can you still use Xbox chat and PlayStation chat as well?
Oh yeah, I don't know if they can run at the same time, but I think the Discord, it just kind of takes the place of the Xbox party system.
Which that was already a good system. I think this just makes it better.
Yeah,
Discord.
I've heard nothing but good things. I haven't used it personally, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, so about time, you know?
Yeah. Insider Gaming also understands that the public beta for PS5 7.0 update will start in the coming days. The completion date ending around January 30th. I missed a part of it. In addition to Discord integration, sources have revealed that PS5 games will also be streamable on the PS5 via cloud streaming to save that all-important drive space. It was said that this feature will be included in the PS Plus Premium tier. So you got to buy the PS Plus Premium for that. The feature, which is under the project name Cronus, has been in development and testing for a number of months, sources revealed. So yeah, this news is kind of just like, it's kind of about time. You have Xbox really killing it in the cloud streaming department, and then also Discord's running better on Xbox.
To put it behind a paywall is kind of dumb, I think.
Yeah.
What's going behind a paywall? Sorry.
The cloud streaming on PlayStation.
I mean, is that the lowest tier?
No, the premium is the highest one, I think.
Yeah, that to me that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But like Sony.
All right, so the next one, the next news headline, I'm going to actually invite producer Jeff in, and we didn't talk about this, but this news headline is pretty good for him, I think. So Warzone 2 has lost more players than it expected. According to Insider Gaming, things haven't been going great for Warzone 2 players since its November launch. From claims of cheating to crashing to other bugs, players don't appear to be very happy, and it's caused a significant amount to simply stop playing. Twitter user Charlie Intel, who's been known for Call of Duty content, they're like the big Call of Duty news leaker.
Okay.
Like they're the authority on Call of Duty news. Is Charlie Intel? That's where you go. Just like filling Devroro in because he doesn't play a lot of Call of Duty, nor does Forrest. So the following came from Charlie Intel. We've heard from multiple people that Warzone 2's player count dropped over the Christmas break at a higher rate than expected. It's unclear what it all means or what will change at this point. Hope we get some good updates soon. YouTuber JGod then followed the report up with a chart that appears to show just how big the drop has been since its November launch. Producer Jeff, you can look at the chart on the article. After the peak of 452,093 players on Steam in mid-November, it has fallen all the way down to 121,913 as of January 11th of this year. That's just a drop over 73. Something just happened upstairs. I think a cat just knocked something over. That's a drop of just over 73% from its launch numbers, looking at the last month alone. So, producer Jeff, talk to me. You play Warzone 2. What's going on with it for you?
So It's the fact that there's just no skill gap, really. You know, there's a lot of things that you can tell they've put in place into this game to narrow the skill gap to where they're trying to just keep everybody down at a 1.0 KD. And I get it from their point of view. They want to make as many people as possible be able to start playing the game right away when it comes out. And you know, technically it worked. They made $1 billion in their first their first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But after that, the player numbers have just completely dropped off of a cliff. Like when PUBG is beating you in active players, that's bad. That's really bad.
Whoa.
So what?
No, PUBG's beating them? God damn. PUBG's like
Yeah.
fell off. L plus
Yeah.
ratio, bro.
So here's the thing, right? So I stopped playing Warzone 2. My reason for stopping was the fact that they haven't come out with a combat record for it yet. I'm a stats-based guy, and when I play competitively, I like to be chasing a goal. So like when I was playing Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, I'm working on gun camos. So that for me is the goal. Like I want to get all the gold guns, and then when I'm done that, I'm gonna move on. I've maxed out my level though, so I have to wait for the next season to get some more levels to want to jump back into it. But for Warzone 2, they were supposed to come out with a combat record so you could track your wins. They delayed it. I don't understand how you have to delay stat tracking on a Call of Duty game by months. Like it's been months at this point. We're like 2 months into Warzone 2, and there's like the combat record's just non-existent.
Because they realized if they started revealing all of the stats that they track, it's going to reveal some of the things that they've done in the game to narrow that skill gap I'm talking about. So they may delay that indefinitely, to be honest with you. Dude, they're tracking so many different things, it's not even funny in this game.
So here's where it gets like my opinion on it kind of gets a little like Call of Duty fans aren't going to agree with this. I don't think there's an issue with the game itself.
Yeah, I've heard good stuff about it.
I think it's a phenomenal battle royale. It's not as good as Blackout. It's really not.
I heard it's better than Warzone 1.
It's 100 times better than Warzone 1. And I think for me, the biggest reason for the drop in player count, and this is just my own personal opinion, of course, is that Call of Duty gamers are Call of Duty gamers. It's just, and I don't know how to say it better than that. They're a large percentage of Call of Duty players. They get Call of Duty, maybe Madden, maybe 2K.
God
Does
damn.
2K come out that year? They might get that. They like cars, they might get Forza or Gran Turismo, whichever console they're playing on. And then that's it. And I think that section of Call of Duty fans that just go back to Call of Duty year in and year out, they don't want it to change. And I think that Warzone 1 was just an extension of Call of Duty Modern Warfare's 2019 Modern Warfare's multiplayer, which I thought was terrible in my opinion. By extension, I thought Warzone 1 was absolutely awful. I think Warzone 2 is a really cool game in and of itself. And I think that it strays away from Call of Duty. I think that Warzone 1 was a Call of Duty game stretched into a battle royale. Warzone 2 is a battle royale. That would be the way I view it.
Yeah.
And I think
somehow works better.
it does. It's a better battle royale than Warzone 1. But the Call of Duty fan base, they are going to look at Warzone 2 and say, I just want to play Warzone 1. Because they don't want to play Battle Royale. And that's the kicker. And that was the whole big thing like with Call of Duty investing in Battle Royale is it's not about whether you're a good Battle Royale, it's can you get your Call of Duty fan base to jump on board with it.
Okay.
And for me, that's my I've been playing games for a long time, as we all have. That's my experienced, educated mind calling the shot on that. And I think that's what it is. I think that they went out and they made a real battle royale, and Call of Duty players did not like it, so they left. Battle royale players tend to stick with the battle royale, so therefore PUBG, people have been playing PUBG for a fucking decade. They're going to keep playing PUBG because that's their battle royale. I mean, I would still be going back to Blackout if the crowds were there, if people were playing it. I'd go back to Blackout to this day. But it's a Call of Duty game, so people moved on.
I'm also kind of wondering. They said it was unexpected numbers, so I'm wondering what they were expecting it to. Because games drop off all the time. Like that's your game will always drop off.
Yeah. Well, I think for them, the fact that I think what was the number I said? It dropped down by like almost 300,000, 400,000, wasn't
That's
it?
alarming. That's a lot.
That is
Yeah.
a lot over. Keep in mind, it's January. Like we have people who just got new consoles for Christmas, new PCs for Christmas.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
people who bought Modern Warfare 2 and like, oh, Warzone 2 is included, even though you can get it separately. Like some people don't know that. Like to be going into January with a multiplayer game and you're dipping
Yeah,
by
you're
that
right.
much, it's not great.
Yeah.
And to
But I guess-
specify,
Sorry,
I'll
go ahead.
specify real quick a couple of things I know turn people away from the game. Is you can hold as many self-reses in your backpack as you have spaces for. So you could literally self-revive yourself 6 or 7 times if you had the
Gross.
space in your bag. That's insane. That's
I
horrible.
understand that. That's interesting.
Why isn't that
And then
the number one way to play?
And then in the battle royale, there's AI in the game that if you go near them, one shot, they take all your armor. And if they come up behind you inside a stronghold, you get killed by AI, and it feels terrible. And that's one of the main things that I hear a complaint about right now. A lot of people say this has the chance to become the best battle royale ever. They just need to tweak a couple of things that turn away certain players,
I can see that.
So my rebuttal to the AI thing is it kind of goes to what I'm saying is
I thought you were gonna say get good.
they well, yeah, kind of. I am going to say that firstly. Secondly, it's like, well, it's called a stronghold. It's very clearly listed on the map. You should definitely tread carefully when going to a stronghold.
You're right.
My thing is that it's what
No.
I'm saying where Call of Duty players want Call of Duty. And I'm going to give Infinity Ward the credit here that many might not give them. They sat down with Warzone 2 and they were like, let's make a battle royale. Let's do, what ideas do you have? Bring your ideas in. Let's look at what the other battle royale games are doing. Like let's try to and let's do something new. So the DMZ thing is a whole big new thing for them. And for me, at the end of the day, I think people that play Call of Duty Warzone, they should just stay on multiplayer. Like I think that's what it comes down to. It's like that's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they're gonna get. They're all playing shipment.
To be
That's why,
honest,
you want to know why 400,000 people stopped playing Warzone 2? Because they're playing fucking shipment on Modern Warfare 2, and shipment is dog shit. It is.
you know what I'm playing now?
Huh?
I'm playing the damn, what's it called? It's the big Warzone. It's not the Warzone, but it's like the large map multiplayer.
Oh yeah, see, but that's what I'm saying. So they add.
Damn it.
Producer Jeff hitting the nail on the head. They literally put TDM on the Warzone map. Just play multiplayer. And that's the problem. It's like the Call of Duty fans, they want to play the
What's the
multiplayer,
name
and
of
that's
that?
fine for them.
Ground War.
Like you said,
Ground War is probably my favorite thing to do right now. It's capture the points. There's A, B, C, D, and E, and each team has 5 points, or there's 5 points for you to capture. I love Ground War right now.
But I think also, like you said, the game's been out for 2 months, and like Jeff said, he can see potential in it if they change a few things. So I think you just give it time. Like
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
they'll add stuff, they'll take away stuff, they'll make it better, they'll make it a better.
get it.
message for-
Yeah, but you're gonna want to have that shit ironed out before.
yeah, of
Like
course
dude,
you do.
they should be fixing that right now. Like
Yeah.
it should be done and fixed already. That should have been like day one, month one. That's the whole point of what. To
But
be
like
fair,
Jerome was also
the next
saying,
update is probably gonna fix it.
they were trying something completely new with this. They changed the formula in a way, so you kind of have to. It's gonna be bumpy. People were expecting one thing and they got something a little different.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, so season 2 launches in February, I believe February 1st. I mean, I'll be tuning back in because my level cap will raise, so I'll be back in there playing.
Okay.
And I mean, we'll talk about it as we go on. All right, this next news headline, I'm gonna pop Forrest. He's gonna love it.
I swear to God.
Are you ready for this? Scalebound revival could be underway. Scalebound was an ill-fated title from the beginning, suffering immeasurably at the hands of delays and ultimately a full-scale cancellation of the project. It was revealed in 2014, penned to release in 2016, pushed back to 2017, and then at the start of that year, it was canceled by Microsoft, the slated publisher. Now, in a discussion on the Xbox Era podcast, it has been directly suggested that Scalebound may be scheduled for something of a revival. In a breakdown that lasted a couple of minutes, co-founder and co-host explained that Platinum Games might be working with Xbox to bring the Scalebound project back to life.
Dude, it's Platinum Games.
So I told
Do
you.
you remember? I think it was last year when the developer for Platinum Games reached out to
Xbox. They said,
they reached out to Xbox and they were like, "Hey, we messed up.
"Can we try
Can
again?"
we try again?" And like everyone like retweeted it and like it got like big.
They're working on skill.
Yeah, that's super exciting. That's super exciting.
See, like that's the Xbox. That's the move by Xbox right
Like,
there. 'Cause here's the thing: when we talk about where this all started, right? We talk about Scalebound.
Yeah.
That was where this all started,
Dude,
where they were
I'm
like,
like looking at the B-roll and I'm like, I want it. It looks like Final Fantasy. It looks like Final Fantasy World mixed with dragons from Monster Hunter with freaking Devil May Cry 4 Nero on his back.
Yeah. Remember they even had
Also,
game.
look how close. Look how close this looks to what ended up being Devil May Cry 5 Nero.
I also
It's
want
almost it's insane how
also
close.
want to add
they
that I
are.
always found it really funny that the main character in this totally looked like Forrest at the time that this was revealed. He doesn't look the same now, but like that was basically his look back then.
With
It
a
was
real
so
Slim
funny.
Shady, with a real Slim Forest, please stand up.
But yeah, I mean, Scalebound's where it started, and I think Xbox getting that it's like the game itself, great coming back, but just the announcement, like that PR, like that's gonna be really good for them. And you know, I do believe that we're gonna see Scalebound someday.
That's cool.
I
like
want
that.
it. I
Yeah.
want it. Don't do me dirty again. Oh, it gives me numbers. Number gives me dopamine. Dude. Oh, I just want to dunk on everybody in this world. Ugh. Bro, if they fuck it up again, I'm done. I'm done.
I don't think they will.
No, I think they'll do it well.
It'll look better. I think the issue they were having in the original was the engine. It was an
Well,
engine
and that's
that.
the thing, is like, look at this. How old is this footage?
Yeah.
This is reveal footage.
Yeah. It still looks
This
good.
is old. So like this looks like 7 years old. This looks like what's it called? 15.
Yeah, I agree with
The
that.
same level graphics of 15.
I mean, it's Platinum. Platinum does really well, you know. Like
I mean,
when
Platinum
they
does
do
really
well,
good
they do well.
style.
Yeah.
I've never seen them. This was supposed to be their big budget AAA game. So I honestly I say, hey, just do a if you're still screwing up on the graphics, like lower down the graphics, get a little more worked art style, because you're Platinum Games, aka Clover, and just
Yes.
have fun with it. Just finish the damn game.
TJ says in the chat, Scalebound will only work well if Microsoft actually manages them well. And yeah, so I mean that's a conversation that we even had earlier here on the pod. I mean, Xbox needs to do a better job at managing.
I mean, it wasn't their fault that they had.
I mean, they were
scale.
yeah, they weren't happy with Platinum's work. So I mean, like, Platinum isn't a subsidiary of Xbox. Like they're just publishing it. But I don't know. I'm hopeful for Scalebound.
Yeah.
Dude. Also, like, so they got, dude, and think of just the innovations that have come out since then. You have all your Final Fantasies, Monster Hunter World, Rise. They're all like top tier things that they could be pulling from. Like these monster designs are peak. Oh my god, he just devil triggered. Ugh. Yes. Yes. Pop off my child.
Forest ass game.
This is the most. This is every game I like mashed into one.
Really?
This is let me just and then if you let me make my character, done. I'll give you all the money. I'll play the entire DLC. I will stream every minute of this game.
What if it's only on Game Pass?
I don't give a shit. I'll buy Game Pass for it.
Yes, we've done it. So running
But
joke
I'll
on
also
the
try to get a
podcast,
physical.
trying to get Forrest to admit that he'll buy Game Pass, and he's been no up to now. So this is a win.
This is the
I
only way to
gotta
get it on Game Pass. I would. However, I doubt it.
We gotta
I'm
get
gonna
Phil
buy
Spencer
it on
on the horn. Like he's got to make Scalebound happen. He's got to do it.
Dude, I'd get it on Steam though because I want to own it.
I think this will be okay.
TJ said they essentially need to look at Monster Hunter Horizon, see how those guys make it work.
No, don't even look at Horizon.
But the main thing is managed. They need to ensure that they're managed. I can understand the concern there. I do get that.
I don't understand the concern there because what has Platinum done where they aren't managed?
It's not about that. TJ's issue comes from Xbox's side of things, which we talked about earlier, where they need to manage their studios so their studios are putting out consistently good work.
Yeah, I guess.
So I think that's what he's saying.
But to a standard, but like,
Sure.
but like they don't own platinum. You know, it might be tricky on that side. I don't know the legal stuff, but you know,
Dude.
like, I agree that they do need to like, hey, this is what we want. This is how we want it. And just
Dude, it's co-op too.
yeah.
I saw player 3. Dude, he's got different dragon. Jeff, send producer Jeff, send me all those trailers you have. I need them for later tonight.
Oh boy.
Oh god. All right. Well, let's move on before. So let's move on. Let's just move on. I'm good with moving on. Let's talk about Callisto Protocol. We have a few headlines we're gonna get through here. None of them really good. None of them really good, or neither of them really good because there's only two. First up, former Striking Distance developers say key folks were left out of the credits of the game. Coming from IGN, Striking Distance Studios is under fire for reportedly leaving developers out of the Callisto Protocol's credits. IGN's own reporting corroborates the accounts that key names were left out of the game's credits. And IGN has heard that issues with crediting on games directed by Glenn Schofield date back further than the Callisto Protocol. In a report originally from GameIndustries.biz earlier last week, sources told the publication that an estimated 20 developers were omitted from the Callisto Protocol's credits. IGN spoke to two former employees of Striking Distance Studios, both of whom worked at the company during the development of Callisto Protocol, and have confirmed details from the report. One of the employees that IGN spoke to was included in the credits despite working with the company for less than a year of Callisto Protocol's development time. However, they told IGN that some key folks weren't added to the credits. The quote, I can tell two people weren't added to the credits, the developer tells IGN. One of them, I have a feeling it was because of drama within the department itself, and that's why they weren't added. But the other one, I'm shocked because they worked on some key elements that had started coming up with design features that are in the game today, but they aren't in the credits at all. The former employee suggested that the blame could fall on the department leads rather than the higher ups at Striking Distance Studios like CEO Glenn Schofield. This source says that higher ups don't know everyone who came and went from Striking Distance because of the high volume of turnover during Callisto Protocol's development. However, our second source does place some of the blame on Schofield. This former employee says that they worked at Striking Distance for over a year and were left out of the credits for Callisto Protocol. Quote, it feels really awful to be left out of the credits for these games. It is hard to describe just how bad it feels because it cannot be corrected. These discs are out there in the world, and there isn't a server-side hotfix that can be released that will magically make all the time and effort I spent suddenly be recognized. It may be simple carelessness or lack of follow-through, but I think that is emblematic of their general stance toward their employees. Just an afterthought. So, number one, if someone worked on the game,
Put their name on.
put their fucking name in the credits.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yeah,
Like, I don't give a fuck what the reason is, oversight, or like they weren't very good. Like, you can't fuck up the credits of a video game.
yeah.
Like, that's like, you can't do that.
No, that's not fair to anyone.
That's not fair at all. Some people worked on this game. Like, that's like job history.
Yeah.
It's like you go to apply for EA, and they're like, what were you doing for the last 6 years? I was like, I was working on Callisto Protocol at Striking Distance, and they're like, we have no records of that. Like,
Dude,
it's bad.
That's like what? Did they do a bad job so you took their name off the group project? What the fuck?
But that's still not a good reason. If anybody contributed to the final, like, look at Metal Gear 5. Like, Kojima and Konami were fucking done. And you know what? Like, I'm not gonna grab it because it's over there. But like, look on the case. It says a fucking Kojima game.
Isn't he in the game though? Like actually as a character?
I think he might be, but like literally,
Yeah,
like,
he
this
is.
is
Yeah,
this is
he
a
is.
Hideo Kojima game, and like the breakup between Konami and Kojima was before the game launched. So like Konami could have absolutely just been like, "Fuck Kojima," but no, they left his name in there because you don't do that.
Also, you shouldn't that shouldn't be the standard Kojima level where he's close to the top. Where
But you get my point.
yeah,
Though.
people at the bottom still do. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
calling the bottom. Think about game development. I know it's all hard, but
Sure.
yeah, if you put work into it,
Did-
your name should be on it.
Now my question is, did they remove their work from the game? Is their work still in the game?
No, one of the quotes literally says that this person. Hold on, I'm gonna pull the quote up again. Give me 1 second. The other one, I'm shocked because they worked on key elements and had started coming up with design features that are in the game today, but they aren't in the credits at all. That is a direct quote from a developer that spoke to IGN that worked at Striking Distance.
Can't they sue?
I don't know if you could sue, but it's just really scummy.
It's technically stolen work at that point if there's no credit on it.
Let's go to the chat real quick. TJ says, if someone worked on the game, put them in the credits. I believe some companies have mandates, might be 3 months, 6 months, or a year. It's not just about you worked for the company, it's how long. And I can understand that, but I think that at the end of the day, if your work made the game, like it'd be one thing if they hired someone and like he did some concept art and they didn't use any of the concept art or like something along those lines, sure, okay. But
Yeah.
if anything that you did can be found in the game
Yeah, because this
through
person,
non-hacking
yeah,
like measures, like you got a
yeah,
credit.
these complaints are coming from people. It sounds like these complaints are coming from people who know that their work is in the game. You know, it's not like they know that their work is in the game. They can probably see it. in
Also
some
that
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also like I have two things against TJ's comment. No offense. It's just that if you're a contractor, it does not matter if you did like most music is contracted. It's not in-house, so they have to be in the credits. And then on top of it, there is a special waiver that they would have to if it sounds like you're kind of implying there's like some apprenticeship type thing before you get your time in the light, so to say. If that is what you're implying, um, even then there's paperwork that would also then have them not be able to talk about it anyway. Like, oh, you work under, I'm just going to use Kojima for example. I worked under Kojima for 3 months and then I quit, but I made the main character. My main character's in there. Like, okay. But you signed this thing that the credit goes to Kojima. You can't do anything about it. It doesn't seem, but then you also can't talk about it. So it doesn't seem like that's the case here.
No. No, I agree.
So yeah, it's just scummy. It's scummy, as you said. It is very scummy. How do you do that? That's weird. In this day and age, that's so weird.
Yeah, and apparently, according to the IGN article, it says that it's not something that something Glenn's done previously. Continuing on down the article, this source one of the sources had experience working with Schofield at the director's former studio, Sledgehammer Games. According to this developer, crediting issues date back to the last few games Schofield directed, namely the trio of Call of Duty titles they worked on: Modern Warfare 3, Advanced Warfare, and World War II. Quote, I worked for Glenn Schofield for multiple years at Sledgehammer, and I heard similar rumors of people left off the credits of Modern Warfare 3. From my own experience, I can verify that people were definitely left off the credits of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. According to this source, the narrative producer on Advanced Warfare received explicit orders from Glenn Schofield and Sledgehammer's Michael Condrey regarding the content of the credits. This source says their biggest personal snub was World War II. Quote, I worked almost 2 full years on Call of Duty World War II and was left off the credits simply because I left the studio before the game shipped, even though I'd worked like hell for that company and on that game. Striking Distance Studios has previously dealt with criticism for Schofield's comments on a possible crunch culture at the company. In a now deleted tweet, Schofield wrote, we are working 6 to 7 days a week. Nobody's forcing us. Exhaustion, tired, COVID, but we're working. Bugs, glitches, perf fixes. One last pass through audio, 12 to 15-hour days. This is gaming. Hard work, lunch, dinner, working. You do it because you love it.
Those are the people whose names should be in the credits. That I like.
Yeah.
I kind of I agree a little bit with what TJ said, but these are the people who were like, we're putting in all this time. Those names should be in the credits. I think that just
Yeah.
yeah.
To kind of close up, the former employee with experience at both Striking Distance and Sledgehammer has told IGN that crunching on Schofield-directed games dates back to Call of Duty days. People were 100% rewarded for simply working all day, every day, including weekends, and it was heartily encouraged. This problem was exasperated by the discretionary bonuses we were all chasing. There was no way to tell how the bonuses would be decided, so people would just burn themselves to the core in order to hopefully be viewed as providing the kind of service that the studio's heads were looking for. Crunch culture is fucking scummy too.
It's been scummy
Yep.
for years.
It has
It
been.
hasn't changed for. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean Glenn Schofield and Striking Distance, between the credits and the crunch tweets and all that stuff, not necessarily a good look. Now the game was kind of met with mediocre reception critically. But based off our
Yeah.
next headline, sorry,
Well,
guys.
so wait, real quick before we move on. Still, he needs that first portfolio to get more work.
Yes, that's it.
So that's just not cool. And they did it to him multiple times, it seems, in multiple games.
Yeah. The people who are talking, who are speaking out, sound like they have.
They know what
part
they're
into it.
Yeah, again, if one of those employees worked at Sledgehammer with him for 3 Call of Duty games, keep in mind that's a 3-year cycle because they have Sledgehammer, Treyarch, Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
That person worked under Glenn Schofield for
least 10 years.
9 years,
Yeah.
maybe like 7 or 8 if you twist the dates in a way. But we're talking a good chunk of years.
And so almost a decade this dude worked for this guy, never got a credit.
Right, and if you're counting Striking Distance, that's more than a decade.
Yeah, I don't think this would be a news article if these were people who were there for 3 months and maybe they were just coloring walls or something, doing something small. I think these sound like they're coming from people who put hard work into it.
I mean, IGN, they verified what they've done.
The guy who made Ghost.
That's funny. All right, but so
it can't be an update. I'm surprised you can't update the game in a way where
you can,
the credits.
You can, but the problem is the discs are out in the wild. People are gonna play these games off the internet. It's a single player game. It's gonna happen, and people aren't gonna update the game or whatever. And I don't know. I see your point, but there is still, at the end of the day, the hard disc, the hard copy of the game does not have their name in the credits. But that leads us to part 2 of this Callisto Protocol discussion. The Callisto Protocol reportedly fails to recoup its $162 million budget, and the game may be considered a financial flop. Wow, while the Callisto Protocol may have mixed reviews regarding its gameplay, it is one of the most visually stunning games of this generation, says thegamer.com. According to MK Odyssey via VGC, the Callisto Protocol cost $200 million WON, which is $162 million. Oh, I'm sorry, 200 million won. I don't know what currency that is, which is $162 million to develop. The game was so costly to make that it was referred to as quadruple A, which in game development, I've never heard of a studio refer to quadruple A and it be good. That's just one thing I want to say.
That's what we would call a red flag.
Yeah, when you say quadruple A, it's almost always a red flag.
Okay. The only other quadruple A developer I know
The
is
Initiative.
Right. So they haven't put out anything, and it's already a
quadruple A is thrown around a little bit though. Not often, but it happens from time to time.
It's literally code for we spent way too much money on this game.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Devroro said that won is South Korean currency. Anyways, so it is a budget even more notable considering the game was a new game in a genre that is relatively niche. According to Samsung Securities, the Callisto Protocol has reportedly missed sales targets, which has forced Krafton investors to lower their target stock prices. Korean games giant Krafton published the survival horror title and had expected to sell around 5 million copies. But current cumulative sales has the Callisto Protocol at only around 2 million copies. Expectations are now that the stockbroker thinks it will be a challenge to reach the target. The game received mixed reviews, which is apparently down to its single-player focus and relatively brief runtime, according to translated article, which I think that's ridiculous. Those two things are not what make a game flop. And the poorer than expected sales have contributed to Krafton's value falling. To put the sales target into context, A title in the same survival horror genre as Callisto Protocol, Resident Evil Village managed to shift 6 million units in its first 6 months. Capcom series has a strong profile and came out to good reviews, so a 5 million target for Striking Distance Callisto was confident, to say the least. The budget for AAA games is getting increasingly expensive. They go on to say that
maybe they should stop making them.
no, AAA games are important to make. I think AAA games, like, I think they have their place in the industry the same way indie games do, and like all other kinds of games do. But yeah, I mean, it's just not good news coming out for Striking Distance and for Callisto Protocol in general.
Yeah, I think people were expecting a Dead Space, more of a Dead Space game, because that's the same guy who did Dead Space, and it just didn't get there. And then also on top of that, you have the Dead Space remake coming out soon, so it's like.
Didn't that just come out actually?
No, they put out another trailer for it, but it's coming out
okay.
soon. It's coming out sometime this year.
What?
Dead Space remake.
That comes out next week.
Okay, so that comes out.
I think.
Yeah, that comes out next week. People, if you were like, I feel like more people were waiting for that than the Callisto Protocol. Like,
That's a
Didn't
fair
even
point.
know
The timing could be really bad.
Yeah.
timing could be bad there. Like, it maybe, and I also heard it doesn't live up to Dead Space. You know, like what people remember from Dead Space. It's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Visually striking game.
Yeah, very pretty game.
But well, Forrest wouldn't find it pretty.
Oh yeah.
No, it's spoopy. I'm done. Where is wait? This is unrelated, and I don't know why, but my brain just unlocked a memory that's happening a lot today. Anybody remember Infamous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Infamous 3? Where's that at?
Infamous 3 came out, didn't it? Or am I thinking of Infamous Second Son?
Yeah.
One was the last one for the PS4.
Yeah, there were 3 Infamous.
There were 3 games. Yeah,
Are they getting a new one? Is there anything on the Infamous front?
I don't think so. Who made Infamous? Can you look it up?
It's definitely a Sony.
It is definitely Sony, but which Sony developer made it? Is it Guerrilla?
I got it. I'll look it up.
Devroro's on it right now. I think it could be Guerrilla. I honestly forget because it's been so long. Meanwhile, in the chat, TT says, unfortunate. Average reviews didn't help. Dead Space Remake isn't helping. AAA games are expensive.
Triple H.
Stick microtransactions into the games. I don't really necessarily agree with sticking microtransactions into games.
Why?
I think
Why
TJ. I think TJ's saying go microtransactions to help cover costs. I don't agree with that. I don't think a good game needs it. I mean, look at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think that game had any microtransactions.
So this is where, like you mentioned before, this is a very short game. I don't even know where microtransactions would fit in this game.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, again,
more playtime. Put another quarter in.
I mean, again, I know it's under the Star Wars banner, but I think you look at the success of Jedi Fallen Order, and that's all you need to know in terms of like you can make a AAA strictly single player game that's going to sell very well. You don't need microtransactions for it. You just got to make a good game.
And to answer your question, Ant, it's Sucker Punch who does the game.
Sucker Punch, and PJ just said it too.
And as of July 2020, they announced that they thank their fans, and they addressed rumors about Sly Cooper and Infamous, where they were saying they have no plans in the foreseeable future. So it's like they could.
What are they working on then?
I have no idea.
Because Sucker Punch went and made Sunset Overdrive after Infamous, right?
No.
It's the same developer, isn't it?
No.
You sure?
Yeah. That is
Sunset Overdrive was Sucker Punch.
Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man. The people who did Sunset Overdrive did Spider-Man.
Okay, that's what
I can't remember the name of the studio right now, but
okay.
Sucker Punch does. Let's see.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see eventually what they're working on. Maybe someday. Yeah. Maybe.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is. Yeah.
Insomniac did Spider-Man.
I think they're working on the sequel for that.
Insomniac. Yeah, Insomniac did. Is doing Spider-Man. The previous.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Sucker Punch is doing Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, you're correct.
That's cool. Ghost of Tsushima was great.
Yeah, he's like Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I still need to play that. I'm getting caught up on the PlayStation games from last generation.
You never played that?
I have it. Yeah, I just haven't played it.
It's so pretty.
I know.
It was like the next I didn't play it, but I watched Hime play it. I watched my wife play it.
Mhm.
I literally like I didn't even want to watch her play it. It was just so pretty. I just sat down and started watching it.
Yeah, I fell behind on the PS4 era, so now with my PS5, I'm trying to go back and catch up. And like I said, I played
You
Horizon and God of War last year. Loved both of them.
Gameplay wise, I think it fits around like Horizon, Assassin's Creed.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
it's Assassin's Creed mixed with like barely Sekiro.
Yeah.
Mostly, I would say mostly Samurai Assassin's Creed.
Okay. All right, let's get to our last news topic of the day before we move on with the show. This actually came out today. It is our final update of the day for the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition. It's not a lot, but it is newsworthy.
A meme at this point.
I can't. We say that every week. I'm so sick of saying Microsoft Activision of Activision Blizzard. I'm so sick of saying it.
You ready, kids? Hi, Captain. Oh, Activision Blizzard.
All right, so Microsoft's Activision deal is going to continue to face EU scrutiny. Microsoft is reportedly likely to face objections from the European Commission to the acquisition. Reuters is reporting that the European Commission is preparing a statement of objections to the deal, which will be sent to Microsoft in the coming weeks. Microsoft may be forced to offer more concessions to the EU after it tried to ease concerns with the 10-year deal offer for Call of Duty to be on Sony and in the agreement with Nintendo. So basically, all that this update means is that the EU is getting ready to ask for more shit.
That's annoying.
It's very annoying. It's like, okay, like, it's just an annoying thing where it's like this deal should just go through.
Yeah, if you know what, do a 15 or 20-year thing and just get it over with. Just
Seriously, yeah.
Like, if your plans are to keep it on there forever, just do 20 years. You'll make people happy.
Right, because
Shut up.
like the problem is that I completely understand where Phil's coming from. Where like it would be really stupid legally to be like a contract that says, "Hey, forever."
Yeah.
Like that's dumb.
I get that.
There's no contract like that. Even like I'm sure Game Freak and Nintendo, like they don't have a forever contract. It's just like, hey, we'll touch base in a few years. Like, because I don't Microsoft, Nintendo doesn't own Game Freak. They're a second party technically.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but they're not. Game Freak is not a first party developer for Nintendo.
No, you're right. You're right. They both equally own Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's like a 50-50.
Yeah, but my point is that like there's more to it than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like I don't know.
just do like a 20-year. Like it's bite the bullet. You know, Microsoft will just they'll be forced to keep it on other consoles for 20 years, which
Right.
is a good thing.
Sure.
And you know, just get the deal over with. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It looks like you know they want to say yes. They want to get it through.
Mhm.
They're just going to ask for more, and
Yeah.
Microsoft's going to give them more. So
All right, well, that's the news headlines for the week. Deborah, so at this point of the show, we go through the game releases for this upcoming week, and we talk about if there's anything we're looking forward to.
okay.
All right, so first up, and some of these do get silly because they're just weird games.
Okay.
First up is Gigantosaurus Dino Kart for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That comes out tomorrow. Coming out on January 19th, A Space for the Unbound. Coming to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Also coming on the 19th, Colossal Cave to PS5, Xbox Series, Switch, and PC. And then lastly on the 19th, we are getting Persona 4 Golden and Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3. I don't know why I said it like that. Persona 3 Portable. Both of these games are coming to Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. Ironically enough, Persona 3 is coming to PC, but not 4. I don't know if 4 is already on PC. Both of these games are launching on Game Pass as well on the 19th. Coming on January 20th, Fire Emblem Engage coming to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I consider this the first big release of the year. Obviously, Fire Emblem not huge with everybody, but I mean, I fucking love Fire Emblem, so I'm down for that. Forrest, cover your ears. Coming on January 20th, Monster Hunter Rise to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, including.
Okay, so I got a little update on that, but
Oh.
we'll get into it.
Okay. Oh yeah, we'll get into it when I'm done. January 20th, we also see Move Over Monster Hunter Rise because we see the release of Pocket Card Jockey Ride On for the
That
iOS.
is the game. That is my game I'm most hyped for, 2023.
Right. Okay. So that's the
It's
game.
fun. I can't tell if you're being ironic or not because apparently that's a really good game.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Pocket Jockey.
What? I have no idea. What is this?
It was a Nintendo game.
No, it's on iOS.
But I'm saying it was originally. I could be wrong. I'll look it up. But
Yeah, please do.
what were we gonna say?
Yeah, go ahead, Forrest.
Okay, I finally bit the bullet.
Oh shit.
On Wednesday of last week, or Thursday rather, it was the last day of the winter Steam sale. I got Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak deluxe editions on PC for $50. So under 60, I did not buy. I got 2 games deluxe edition for $50. That's an absolute steal for those. And this week when I was sick, I blasted through it and I'm almost caught up to where I am on the Switch. So I'm like maybe realistically, if I had one full day to game, I could be past where I am on the Switch. So in 4 days, I only played for 4 days. I got all the way through Rise base game and halfway through Sunbreak in 4 days.
Yeah, you were just going through that game.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, and I'm good at it. Though I'm running into the issue I said. Say again.
Did you take a different approach to it, or did you?
Oh, long sword and smack everything within a 2-inch radius.
That sounds about right.
I'm min-maxing, baby.
All right, so guys, is there any big releases this week that you're looking forward to? It's okay if there's not. But, we ask that question every week. Anything here striking your interest?
No, I wanted to ask. Well, but first I wanted to go back to Pocket Jockey.
Oh yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was published by Nintendo. It is a cult classic. I've heard the name thrown around. People love this game. It was only on the Nintendo 3DS, so having it come to iOS is like a big deal.
Oh, what?
Bro, do you have your phone?
Yes.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask, are you gonna play Monster Hunter because it's coming to Xbox?
I mean, a realistic, honest answer is that probably not.
Okay.
It's not that I have anything against it.
No,
genre, dude.
I don't know if it's my kind of game, and also I don't know. Like, there's just so many other games I'm trying to get through. Especially because my biggest anticipated release this week is Fire Emblem. I'm about to dive into Fire Emblem this weekend.
Yeah, dude.
I'm really excited to get into Fire Emblem. That's my big release this week. And I'm gonna be playing that, so it's gonna be fun.
I was asking because Phil Spencer likes Monster Hunter, and he wants Monster Hunter on Xbox. He wants a version, so they're working on.
I mean, I hope that happens, and it definitely leaves it open for me. But like, even this week alone, in all fairness, like I would much rather dive into Persona this week. Like, I'm very interested in Persona.
It's gonna sound weird.
Yet either. I really want to get into them.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
I know.
From the best game, honestly, if you wanted to get into the franchise and dip your toes in, honestly, I think you wouldn't like actual base Monster Hunter. I would think you would like Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2.
I agree with that. I've heard that.
Yeah. Those, and I want to play them too. I'm thinking about getting them next when I get done this big Sunbreak kick, if I can get them for on the cheap. But yeah, like, what I'm trying to think, what this month, anything? I don't think there's anything coming out. June's my month, man. June's the month I die.
June is that's May. May for me. It's like Zelda. All right, I'm gonna fucking just go play Zelda for
June is the month.
I'm gonna be done with Zelda. I'm gonna be crawling out of the hole. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we don't know.
Right back in.
But they said the first half of the year.
And then Redfall is probably Redfall is most likely May.
Game.
It's gonna be a May game.
Yeah.
And then Starfield's first half of the year.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's June if they
boy.
keep that.
Oh boy.
We don't even know what we're getting for Nintendo.
We
don't know really the second half of the year, period.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
we're probably gonna get a Pokemon, and they're probably gonna. Have they announced anything for their next Direct?
So there's
Black and White comes out. That'd be cool.
That would be really cool. There's some rumors floating around that we might get a Direct within the next week.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of substance to go behind that, and also Devroro historically does not like leakers and stuff. Like I'll say like, hey, this leaker who's well known said this, and Devroro's just like,
I see it.
Which I understand, I get it. But there is some murmurs going around. There might be a Nintendo Direct. Apparently, Sony's also getting ready for a State of Play as well.
That's cool.
Can't wait for the musical performance.
All right, guys, let's get into the topic of the show. So, Skull and Bones got delayed. Following's coming from IGN. Ubisoft has announced for the 6th time Skull and Bones has been delayed, as well as they've also canceled 3 more unannounced games amid major changes in the industry. The underperformance of Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023, and an upcoming restructuring. In a press release a few days ago, Ubisoft outlined a new strategy for the remainder of its fiscal year, as well as lowered expectations for the last fiscal quarter. Ubisoft explains the move as a result of the company facing major challenges as the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles that can reach players across the globe, across platforms, and across business models. So Skull and Bones got delayed, as as the article says, for the 6th time. There's more to this though, and we're gonna discuss all of it, unpack it. But I just want to kind of go through most of the facts that we have. So Ubisoft canceled 3 unannounced games. This is not the first time they've done this. They also canceled, I believe it was like 4 other unannounced games like a month or 2 back. So they're canceling games right now. They're having a lot of issues inside the company. Ubisoft CEO recently told its staff that it's up to them to turn things around.
Yeah, I saw that.
As CEO of the company, one of your responsibilities is to lead by example, says Insider Gaming, and help motivate the organization to do the best work possible. For Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, that apparently involves telling employees that it's up to them to turn things around financially for the company. In an email acquired by Kotaku last week, Guillemot told staff that he wanted their full commitment to the company's efforts moving forward. The email says, "Today, more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I am also asking that each of you especially be careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible." Later in the same email, he continued by putting even more pressure on his staff. "The ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and at the expected level of quality, and show everyone what we are capable of achieving," Guillemot said.
There's something really toxic about what you just read. It's just like, hey, this is like, it feels like, I don't know, putting it all on the developers and like not giving them resources, or I don't know.
Where?
Just,
Hold on. I got a message producer
get
Jeff. Real
everything
quick.
you have and make it as cheap as possible is what.
So
It's just, I don't know.
one last thing before we start this full conversation, because this also came up today, which is just really funny, and I just wanted to include it into the discussion. Do you remember Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Yeah, I know what you're about to say. I know what you're about to read.
It's still in development despite a wave of Ubisoft cancellations. On top of the 6 games canceled last year, so it was 6 last year, and then 3 this week. So 9 in total have been delayed in the last year, or not delayed, excuse me, canceled. And they also delayed Skull and Bones. Many were wondering what's going on with Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was announced 15 years ago. As it turns out, Ubisoft says it's still happening.
It has overtaken Duke Nukem as the most delayed game.
Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah,
so
isn't that crazy?
Now it's in the new number 1.
Oh, Forrest sent me a photo. Let's see what Forrest sent me. Look, hold on. Producer Jeff, please get this on the stream. I'm tired of this. That's too damn bad.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I sent Devroro a meme too.
Oh,
Check his phone.
Oh man. Anyway, so Ubisoft. Let's talk about Ubisoft. Let's talk about what's going on there. What we think's wrong. What we think they could do to fix their problems. I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it for starters, and you kind of really led me off with a great starting point, Dev. Bad management.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It's really bad management. Yves Guillemot is not a great leader. I don't know if you follow James Stephanie Sterling, they've covered Yves Guillemot in the past about just harassment that goes on there in that company. A lot of bad stuff, kind of almost along the lines of Activision. It's not a very well run company from the top down. And just you see it here in the email, like you said, there's something very toxic. Stop it, he's already dead. I think he said it to me too just now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like that meme is literally what's happening right now. Dude, that is the most toxic, like I'm pre-planning to bail on you business move I've ever stopped. He's already dead. The CEO of Ubisoft, right there on the screen. Yes, he's already planning to dip on them and blame them.
Yeah. I just it's just not, it's not good leadership, and that comes from
101.
top down. I mean, you like fuck you to say the ball's in your court, developers.
Step
Like
down, dude.
Ubisoft. So here's a big thing that I have an issue with Ubisoft, right? Is the Ubisoft as a company, out of almost anyone in the games industry, maybe EA as well, complete trend chasers. These like Ubisoft will literally drop everything they're fucking doing instead of making the game like the best game it can be. They look at these games as live services, like we've discussed a lot in the past, where like you're just chasing trends. Like, okay, live services are big. Well, we're gonna make Assassin's Creed so fucking massively open that like it takes 3 months to complete, and you're gonna hate yourself by the time you're done with everything that you can do in that game. Like, it's not a healthy way of making games. It's just like they made a few, like no one remembers this, but they made a battle royale, right? They made a Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon battle royale. It was completely made, completely finished. A month before launch, they canceled it because there was no interest in it. It's like, why are you making that? Like, why are you making that game? Nobody wants to see it. And they just wanted to get back in Battle Royale. So then they made that other one that I forget the name of that already died. Like they're like Ubisoft is just constantly chasing trends. Yearly
Yeah,
releases
the-
of just trends. Like
yeah, go ahead.
no, I mean that's pretty much my point. They're just constantly chasing these trends that's ruining their franchises.
Yep.
And it's sad to see. You know, could we just get a Splinter Cell game? I know that there's a remake of Splinter Cell coming, but my point is like, how long have we gone without a Splinter Cell game? People love Splinter Cell.
And I know that Ubisoft is big. They have studios in a lot of countries. I don't know. It almost feels like they have a lot on their plate. Like sometimes it just feels like their hands are in a lot. So it's like when they cancel 3 games, I get it.
They canceled
just-
9 games.
Yeah, it sucks. But they're still putting out stuff. Like everyone complains about how big Valhalla is, and yet it was one of the biggest selling Assassin's Creed games. So it's like whatever they're doing, it's working somehow. It's working financially. It's working in a way where they're not going to change.
Well, I mean, I think they might have to soon. I think that if you're canceling games on this level, where you're just going through your projects and you're like cancel, 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 and you're telling your staff, hey, don't spend money.
Yeah.
You are not in good shape financially.
That's
just
so backwards. So yeah, I'm gonna hop in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So no, there was Nintendo was in a similar situation at one point with the Wii during the Wii U's life cycle. It is, they weren't as toxic about it as this dude who's running the ship right here into the ground. But like I'm still like flabbergasted by the audacity of this dude to be like, is that supposed to be a pep talk? The fuck is that supposed to be, bro? Like, who are you?
Yeah, it's a terrible pep talk.
Yeah,
that's terrible pep talk. If my
That's the
boss said
same
that
as
to
like
me, I'd
they
be
get good.
"Oh."
Like, he just literally told them, "Hey, don't spend any money, and remember, be better." Like, how the is that constructive,
Yeah.
bro?
I do also wonder, just on the other side, because like I know things got messy with COVID. People had to work from home. Are people actually? And Ubisoft is huge. They can't they're not a small studio where they can keep an eye on everyone. So I'm wondering if maybe people are slacking off, and maybe this is a not good way to tell them.
Well,
Either way, bad management. But I do think maybe there's like some truth into it. I think it could be toxic management. Like it. I don't know.
I hear you. I hear you. You're playing devil's advocate, and I get it.
Yeah.
I disagree. I mean,
it's like we can.
yeah, no, I've been around bosses like this.
Yeah.
I've been around bosses like this that they won't take the blame, and they get the higher the money goes, the more they're getting paid, and the less that the rest are getting paid, the more that type of attitude comes out. That is like the elitism, overpaid CEO bullshit attitude. I see it all the time. And then also with the trend setting, I honestly see this CEO being like hella late to every party and every trend and being just like, oh yeah, remember that battle royale game? Yeah, they're not popular anymore. I know we just finished ours, but yeah, you go ahead and cancel it. Oh, and then he finds out Fortnite's doing well again, like 3 years later, and he's like, oh, hey, can we make one of the battle royale games? Like, I feel like this dude's never touched a game in his life. He literally is just going by what he hears. And it's symptomatic of Ubisoft. Ubisoft used to be an innovator. Assassin's Creed was innovation. They used to set the bar. Now they're just copying whatever's popular. And you're smacking one of my childhood. You're smacking one of my favorite franchises in the face because you can't stick to your goddamn guns. It's almost like this dude needs to be like put somewhere in a corner with some shiny dangly keys and tell him to go look at the shiny while somebody's like, all right, we're going to start a game. We're going to finish the damn game before he says anything. Like, pick a game, pick a genre, stick with it, finish it, don't cancel it. Let the game be good or bad on its own merits.
Yeah, I completely agree with Forrest here, actually. I think he really fucking hit a home run on that one. It's like, Ubisoft used to be one of my favorite, like, entities in gaming. I mean, like, there was a time where, like, for me, they couldn't do any wrong. Between Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, like they were just killing it. And like now, it kind of sucks to see, but like Far Cry's lost its innovation for the most part, in my opinion. Assassin's Creed has went in a direction that, while I enjoy the games, like I actually have another article that I was going to kind of try to like blend in here, where you have for Assassin's Creed Mirage, you have the developers of the game doubling down, making sure that people understand, like, this is not an RPG. We are making a traditional Assassin's Creed game. When you need to do this, when you need to market a game like this, you've made a mistake.
Yep.
Because you are marketing a game to the fans of the franchise who are checked out. And you're like, come back. We're doing the right thing again. The same thing with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The marketing for that game was fucking mind-blowing to me. You know what it was? It was like, it's a Star Wars game, it's single player, no microtransactions. That was the marketing for Jedi Fallen Order. That was it.
How good did that do?
It sold a shit ton. And like, it's
a good game.
It's a very good game. I'm not taking it away, but I'm saying like the initial reception. But like Ubisoft, same thing. I didn't play Odyssey. I liked Origins a lot. I thought it was a really nice experiment. Valhalla, we've talked about it. I'm a completionist for the most part, especially for game franchises that I really love. I love Assassin's Creed. I went to complete Valhalla. I did complete it. I spent like 2.5 months, and I fucking hate that game now.
But you did tell me you enjoyed the first.
I enjoyed the first
50 hours.
40 hours. I enjoyed the first 40 hours.
Enjoyed the first 40 hours.
And then I was sort of gotten out.
Yeah,
it was too much.
I think if you had gotten out, it would be a positive memory in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
I didn't like some of the story beats, but like overall, yeah, I thought it was a really cool game that was historically accurate for a good portion of it.
And I think in defense of Ubisoft, if they weren't putting out games, having them cancel 3 games, that would be an issue. Like, it would suck.
But they're not putting out
9.
games.
But
They're barely putting out games.
Sure, but like, look, having a publisher, we see it with Activision. Having a publisher rest on their laurels and put out one game, like, this is fucking Ubisoft. These guys own like 10 developers.
Yeah, they're massive.
And they're putting out one game a year. Like, that's a problem. You want to talk about Xbox mismanaging? Like, that's mismanagement in gaming.
It sells. That's the thing. We want to punish these developers, but we're giving them our money, and the game is for 40 hours good. So it's like.
Well, yeah, I get that.
It's hard to yell at them when they're not. Treat your developers better, and I think your games will be better.
Exactly. And I'm not. So this kind of ties into TJ's comment mixed with what Dev is saying. Yeah, so Skull and Bones got sure to blame the CEO, but employees, managers need to take a hit too. CEO isn't programming or directing these games.
Sure.
No, they're not. However, the CEO sets the tone.
Well, so
that rhymes because it's slant rhyme. CEO sets the tone. If you have a shit work culture, who the hell is gonna want to work for you?
So my thing is that yes, like you're correct in the sense that the CEO sets the tone. If the CEO says, "Hey guys, we're going to make our next game this," you have to find a way to fit microtransactions in. You have to fit a way to like stretch this game out so that way people are playing it for a year and a half straight. Like those types of things. Like that's like if you're a developer, you're instantly putting handcuffs on you. like on yourself. Like you can't blame a developer for developing a game the way that the executives want them to, and that's the big problem with
Developer
these
is
third-party
skilled hand.
publishers. And it's why I've also, I mean, just to relate it back, it's why I've really supported this Xbox Activision of Activision, because like these third-party publishers, these major ones in gaming, are the worst. Like Activision, EA, Ubisoft, like these guys all have such strong franchises that we all fell in love with over the years, and they just shit on these IPs. Like again, like where is Splinter Cell? It's been years.
Wait, guys. I was going over the financials, and I found where they could actually save some money. You know that dance they do every year at E3 for Just Dance, hosted by Aisha Tyler at the Ubisoft press conference? Who gives a shit? Cut that.
I have a question for you guys. We all love Black Flag, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you guys stand on Skull and Bones?
So for me, I think Skull and Bones is gonna. There's no way this game could be good.
I disagree. But
No, there's no
I
way.
disagree.
No. This is so it's development hell.
Okay, look. Here's what I'm going to say. First of all, I love Black Flag. I wanted more Black Flag, and that's what this feels like. They've already shown gameplay, and the game looks okay. It looks, 7 out of 10.
There you go.
Putting in
A
more work.
game that long only looks okay.
Exactly. Only looks okay. I agree with that. Like,
Oh, if you're so literally, you said it in your own statement, Dev. I'm gonna go against you on this one. I love you, but I'm on Rome's side, which is weird. It feels weird over here. They say if the best you could say after this game has been in development hell and continually gets pushed back, meaning there is not enough attention being paid to it, and you just go, it looks okay, and you're not saying no, but it looks amazing. Like, ugh. Yeah, no, that ain't, I'm worried. I press X to doubt on this entire game coming out good. Look,
really, like we've heard a lot of stories come out over the years about how this studio is just going through fucking hell for Skull and Bones. There is no way this game comes out and it's good, because they were like, all right, guys, here's the final release date. It's coming out for sure this year. Whatever the release date was, I forget it because there's so many release dates this year, and then they fucking delay it again. Like, no, like there's no way that this game comes out and is good. Like, I just
what
don't
are they?
believe-
Who's even working on it? Like, what is even going on?
Ubisoft
how-
Shanghai, I believe.
So
how long has this game been in development?
So that's what I was about to tell you. The
10
game
years?
the game was first announced at E3 2017. So
2017.
it's been 6 years.
6 years.
Since it was announced. So it's almost 6 years, right? So here are some games that they took a long time to come out, and they were good games. Jerome loves this game. Alan Wake took also 6 years. Alan Wake, you love that game. You made me play it. I really like that game.
Sure.
Your favorite Resident Evil is what?
4.
5.
Okay,
Well, not 5. 4.
4.
4.
Resident Evil 4 took 6 years.
It's different.
Okay.
Great game.
Like how many times? So no. Don't look at how long it took. Look at, because you're also comparing old dev cycles to modern day dev cycles. You need to kind of, it's like adjusting for inflation. You need to kind of essentially, with also the tech back then was being pushed to its absolute limit.
For clarification session, are you saying from when it was announced when it was released?
Yeah. Another announced to release game that's also really good and
To be
big.
fair though, Resident Evil 4 restarted development because it turned into development.
It sounds like development hell. That's literally development hell, and it still is one of the greatest Resident Evil games.
It's actually the
LA Noire,
greatest, probably.
LA
I'd say
Noire,
it's the greatest.
7 years for LA Noire.
People that like Ellen.
That's I've heard.
I
like
forget
it.
that's a game. Honestly, the only reason I remember that game exists is because of the press X to doubt meme.
Oh yeah, that is a funny, but that's all.
It's free to play.
It's
Yeah,
all
we're gonna play that. Yeah, it's a good game.
The Last Guardian, 9 years.
Last Guardian was trash.
I didn't
I
play
played it. I played like an hour of it. It's
That
fucking.
one with the
trash.
weird dog.
Yeah, it's the weird dog. Like I will literally die on this grave.
Okay.
Anyone that tells you Last Guardian was good,
I didn't play it. I'm taking your word for it.
no, like whoever, like if anyone ever tells you, "Oh, Last Guardian was good," they're Sony ponies. Like that game's not good. It does.
My neighbor's
It's
Totoro.
aesthetically pleasing, but it plays like shit. I literally couldn't get past like the first hour. I was like, TJ agrees with you. He said you're serving us. No, and I points.
Team Fortress 2, 9 years. That's a cult classic.
Sure.
That's
So wait. Now, Dev, I want to give you a counter question to your. How many of those games you listed were pushed back as many times as Skull and Bones?
a good question.
It's all of them. Maybe like
You don't know that.
I
for
want
sure. You're right.
no. I want to compare pushed back to. I'll give you one for. I'll give you one. For blah, 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 Resident Evil 4, that was one pushback. They had to restart it because they accidentally made Devil May Cry, which is a fucking bomb ass game.
I would also argue that that's not development hell. That's hey, this looks like a great game you guys are making. Problem is, it's not Resident Evil. That's not development hell. That's just them saying like that's shifting
But
focus.
it's like it sounds like halfway through, it's like everything you did, we're going to put it for another game. It's great, but do it again. Do it for, and it still has to come
But
out.
see, I honestly don't consider that development hell. I consider that being like, hey, you guys are doing really good work. What are you using this?
If someone told me to come in, this will be used for something else, I'd be
No, because here's the thing. Here's the thing you got to look at. You're saying it took 6 years to make Resident Evil 4? No, it took 3 years to make Devil May Cry and 3 years to make Resident Evil 4.
Right.
That's how you're gonna look at that.
That's still
Look at how both those franchises are doing in modern day. They are the top sellers in Capcom. Well, Monster Hunter's the top, but they're like 1 and 2 and 3.
So again, like I hear your point, and I do understand that. Like, is it impossible to fathom that this game might still be good? Sure. I mean, it's literally just Assassin's Creed Black Flag sailing mechanics in a live service game. But that's.
But I think we went full circle because I think the big issue with this game is not that it's been in development for 6 years, is that they announced it, and like we said earlier, you announced it and you gave it a release date, and now you're pushing it back, and it's one of those things where
again.
Yeah, what we talked about earlier with the Sony developer, I forget which Naughty Dog, who said they don't want to announce their games too early.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think that's another like full circle thing because I don't think the game will be bad, but game loses hype. I liked it in 2017. And when they showed gameplay, I think last year, I was into it, but games lose hype, and that
I wouldn't say this is losing hype though, like because this is them continually pushing it back. How
Yeah,
long
but
until they just
I
go?
just don't- Let's rephrase
but it's a game development is hard, and 6 years to me
Sure.
sounds like the average time. I'd even give it 7
I'm not
years.
even
6,
talking
7
about
years,
the 6
because
years. I didn't agree with that point.
Because every one of us will complain when a game comes out and unfinished.
So
Every single one of us.
So I don't disagree with your point, and I actually agree with your point. I think that I would rather them delay the game.
Yeah.
My problem is more so the established history that I've read about this developer.
Yeah.
This studio is literally going through a lot of bad shit.
That's fair.
And like the other thing is, again, it's all about the expectation. So like for example, right, let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom for a second. They announced Breath of the Wild 2 the year after Skull and Bones, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. No, not the year after. What was it? 2019 or 2018? We were watching E3 together.
Yeah.
It was 2018 or 2019.
Mhm.
That game has taken so many years.
But they also haven't shoved it in our face the way Skull and Bones.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
6, 7 years for a game. Just don't shove it in our face.
But the
Just
problem
wait
is
till it's
clearly the expectation, and this is where my point comes from, where I don't think it'll be good. If
Now
you're
it's too high.
as a studio, because now we're coming full circle to my point, as a studio, if you keep putting out these updates and you're like, it's coming 2018, oh shit, it's not ready. It's coming 2019. That means that as a developer, as a publisher, your studio is in a shit cycle right now. And that's my point. My point is that it's not just about being public about it. It's you feel like these publishers, they are not announcing these. Like Ubisoft is not sitting here saying like, all right, guys, we're going to announce our date for 2019 just to look good. Because they know when they delay it, it's going to be a bad look for them. So they're not like they're legitimately when a game gets a release date, a release window, they really are expecting to hit those release windows.
Yeah.
And they're not. And that's the problem.
They found for them to do that means they found something fatal.
Exactly. You're missing window after window after window after window. Like I mean, I don't know if you did this much research, but I would love to hear all those games you said. How many times were those games delayed? Officially.
That's what Forrest was asking for too.
In an official capacity, how many times were those games delayed? And that's the real question. I agree with you that game development is hard, and I also agree. And Shigeru Miyamoto, well, we're gonna do this where we say the quote. Shigeru Miyamoto once said, "A bad game is bad forever. A delayed game, well, you're just waiting for it, and then it'll be a good game afterwards. It'll be good forever."
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking of.
And that's
Skull and Bones. They're short. I absolutely like the gameplay that I saw, and if if it has to stay in the oven a little bit longer, let it stay in the oven. I'll wait until the game.
I'm not gonna say that 6 years or 6. Whew, dude, it's been delayed 6 times.
Again, yeah, that for me, that's what does it. Like it's the failed cycle.
But
It's
when it
the
was
cycle
announced,
after cycle.
I don't think it was announced to come out 2018. It was just announced. Like it was like a
No,
trailer.
It was,
I
it was
literally
like
just Googled it. I literally just Googled it, and Google says, as of today, it was the sixth.
no 6 times.
It was delayed 6 different times.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick.
If you could find the first release date that it had, that'd be. I want to see that.
Okay, so I pulled this up on IGN.com. Skull and
Oh
Bones
my god, wait,
development.
there's a whole ass timeline.
Skull and Bones development has been a tumultuous ride. It was revealed at E3 2017. It was set to come out in fall of 2018
5,
and
6, holy
focus on last-gen consoles. And then its first delay was announced the following year, pushing it back to 2019. When it didn't surface for some time after, reports suggested that it had been quietly rebooted. It was delayed a second time in 2020, then again in 2021. In the meantime, further reports alleged a toxic work culture at Ubisoft Singapore amidst wider accusations of a hostile work environment company-wide.
I wonder if the CEO has anything to do with that.
Skull and Bones was later delayed to 2022/2023. Then it was given a November 8th release date, and then it was pushed back to March 9th. And then it was delayed again.
Yeah.
So again, for me, it's all about the cycles. The Ubisoft Shanghai, the developer, the publisher, the company is looking at this game and saying, we are expecting this game to be done by 2018. And then they're like, oh shit, we're really off track. We're really off. Like we're off. We're not good. 2019. 2020. Like that's the signs of that I'm talking about. There's no way this game could be good. It's not about the years spent. Duke Nukem Forever, we were talking about it earlier. That game was delayed so many times.
Yeah. It wasn't a good game.
So many, and it wasn't a good game. No, it was terrible. I bought it for the novelty of it. And like I played it and it's not very good.
To own the worst game ever? What was the novelty?
It's not the worst game. Well, no, I purchased it for the novelty of like at the time, it's Duke Nukem Forever. It was like a game, like it was almost a mythic game when it came out because everyone was like, "This game is probably going to be terrible," but like this was the butt of jokes for a decade. And so, like, yeah, I bought it for the novel.
New joke now, but I do have, like I said, I like what I saw before and gameplay wise, so I do have hope.
How many years ago was the trailer you watched?
Huh?
How many years ago was the trailer that you watched?
It was last year. They had like, this whole reveal thing last year, and I think there's rumors that they're having something this year, something soon, like within the next.
Oh, because they're scrambling. Because again,
Yeah,
it's terrible for them.
Yeah,
the optics aren't good. Yeah.
Wonder why they pushed it. There's always reasons. It sounds like it's just development hell, but yeah, I still have hope for it.
Oh, I mean that makes one of us.
I mean, I would. Hey, dude, I'm always down to be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm down to be wrong.
The
Like
game's
I'm
great,
just
and-
saying, it's very unlikely that it's good.
We'll see. We'll see.
I agree with Forrest. I think that it's very unlikely this game is going to end up being a memorable good game. I could see this game releasing and the general consensus being, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it might be a.
It plays like Black Flags, sailing. If you're into that, is there.
I want like at this point, I want it to just be like what's it called on the pirate? What's the pirate game? Sea of Thieves. I want it to be Sea of Thieves, but Black Flag.
See, my question is, when are the three of us playing Sea of Thieves? Because that's gotta happen. I want to play that.
I'm waiting for Black Flag. I mean, Skull and Bones. Sorry.
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying Sea of Thieves. I want us to play Sea of Thieves. We gotta figure that out. We gotta do it.
When Ant buys Game Pass, or when Forrest buys Game Pass, we'll play Sea of Thieves.
So never.
That means.
So wait, when's Scalebound come out?
We were talking about Scalebound.
So
I gotta get Phil Spencer on the phone.
when Scalebound comes out,
Phil,
the three of us will play Sea of Thieves.
Phil, we gotta make it happen. We gotta get
Meanwhile,
Forrest.
I'll just be standing there, and then I'll be playing Scalebound on my other monitor.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been fantastic. Let's talk about what we've been doing, this past week, game wise and whatnot. Forrest has some stories to tell. To wrap up the week. So Dev, what are you playing right now? It can be something you're just gradually, like anything. What are you playing right now?
Yeah, so I'm not playing anything big, but the game I keep going back to is Vampire Survivor. I have been a tiny bit addicted to that game. I've been playing it every day. It's a very quick game. I played a game like it. This game does it a little differently, a little better. Yeah, I just like Vampire
Now
Survivors.
you're playing it on Game Pass, or are you playing it like on your phone?
I'm playing it on the app, the mobile app.
Okay.
They just recently put that out. I think
The
Game
Xbox
Awards,
mobile
during
app?
the Game Awards, right?
Yeah, the Xbox app,
No,
or
no,
just the regular
yeah,
iOS
just
version
regular.
or mobile version.
Yeah, they
Okay.
I think they put it out. Or they announced it. I saw it at the Game Awards. I downloaded it and I've been playing it
Nice.
at least once a day.
Cool. All right, Forrest. So what have you been playing? And then you also wanted to talk about Magfest. You went to Magfest.
Yes. Oh God. So I'm still doing my usual. Well, now I'm ripping through Sunbreak, like I mentioned earlier. I'm at least trying to get back my old armor set that I rocked, and then I'll like do the other stuff. Like that's my goal right now in that game, is to get at least, like, I have a super armor set, and then there's an armor set that's the end game current #1 best for my thing, and that's the real goal. But I will then take a break from grinding that and kind of play casually once I get my first set back. And then I'll kind of just chill there, and I'm actually very close to that. I just need a few more, maybe like 3 hours of more playtime, which I could probably clock in this week or Saturday at worst. Also still doing terror raids every morning. Do some terror raids. Just pop and get some mats. Dude, I have like 999 rare candies because of how many terror raids I've done. And I was farming the Score Bunny over the weekend because it was back again. And then I'm getting ready for that Greninja.
So Deborah, you realize this is your fault, right?
Is it really?
Yeah, you're his villain origin story.
Okay.
So we were talking a few weeks ago, and he's like, every time Pokemon games come out, Forrest would say I would battle Deborah, and Deborah would just like kick my ass or like really beat me.
Yeah, he's really good at Pokemon.
So he's like, this time around, like I'm like working out all day, like in Pokemon. My Pokemon are lifting, bro. Like they're
Dude, I got
training, we're grinding.
Max IVs, EVs, the
Yeah,
best of
like
the best.
you've turned him. You know that meme where it's like the mom and the son is like, "Look away, Jimmy. I don't want you to see." He's like, "It's too late, mother. I've seen everything." It's like, it's like Forrest being a competitive Pokemon player. It's like it's too late, mother. I need to be
basketball ranking competitive.
Yeah, it's too late. I've seen everything.
I'm glad I can inspire you.
You're his villain origin story.
Did you just say I'm glad I can inspire you?
Yeah, I'm glad.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, go ahead, Forrest.
So then, okay, so not last week, the week before that, I went to MagFest. I was actually going to tell you guys this story last week, but I got sick. Actually, not in MagFest. I got sick the day I got back. But actually, I was sick at MagFest. So Thursday was oh my God, go see everybody I haven't seen in 5 years. Stay out till 5 a.m. Everybody's handing you a cup of something. And then I died. And then Friday, I didn't leave my bed. So one of the cool things that I learned about the hotel is that the bathtub can fit a full-grown adult in fetal position very comfortably. I'm not kidding. I actually did learn that. And then no, but actually what was really cool and was normally, like, I've been waiting like how many years to go back to MagFest, and to get sick, you think it would be devastating, right? To get sick, you're stuck in bed all day. I actually didn't mind because they did something very, very cool this year, and I actually want to be a part of it next year. I'm actually going to apply for a panel next year. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna apply for a panel. I got a few ideas I want to throw at them and see if they'll take any of them. They're always looking for people at all weird hours, and I think I could actually do a pretty good panel for them. But what I want to do, or what they did, was they had this TV. They had cameras that were all connected to each other, and they all broadcasted to this channel 51, and channel 51 was on in every single room. So when you get to the hotel, there is a live broadcast of the cosplay floor, of the game room, cuts in and out of different conventions and major events, cuts in and out of concerts. So like if a big concert is on, they're playing the concert on the TV. So just because I was dying in bed, I actually didn't miss a thing. I actually ended up seeing more stuff and panel-esque stuff in my bed than I normally would have any other year. That was the most MagFest specific content I've ever consumed. Say again?
It sounds like you're promoting dying. It's like just go out and get shit faced because You'll see a lot more.
Well, dude, it was so bad. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'll be very candid with your with the pod right now. I was like, dude, should I go to the hospital? I don't. How much is an ambulance? Like, I was googling how much is a ambulance in Maryland. It was rough, but no, I'm fine. And then Saturday, I played one game. The entire time I was at MagFest. So now, for those that don't know what MagFest is, it is every single arcade cabinet in existence. Most fighters, every rhythm game you can think of, indie games that are not even on Steam yet, devs are there. Nintendo was there. That was weird.
Hmm.
And merch, and you can rent any console you want and hook it up to any TV you want and just sit there and play it and like do controllers and everything. I played one singular game. Do you guys want to know what this one singular game was?
Yeah, go for it, tell us.
Old 1990s table flip arcade machine. All it is you table flip in these obscene scenarios, and your goal is to create as much damage as humanly possible. So, I'll tell you one of the stories because my story is not as great. My wife was playing, and she learned how to do it, and she was doing it like with perfect technique. And she flipped the table. She goes and flips the table. It ricochets into the screen and then right back down, and it resets. She wiped everyone's score for the entire weekend.
Well, to be fair, we prefer broken tables here, usually.
Yes, exactly. But no, then she redid it, and so yeah, no, she played a ghost table flipping her corpse into the funeral.
Hmm.
And that's like just one of the scenarios. There's like a bride that's having a bad wedding, so she flips the bridal cake. There's a teacher that flips his teacher desk into the classroom, and the classroom is full. So it's just like this insane, most extreme Japanese you would only see it in Japanese arcades kind of game. And that was the only game I played, and I played one round of it. And that was it.
Nice. Sound like you had a good time.
Yes.
All right. Well, so for me personally, this week I just want to show off real quick, just my new amiibos that I got this week. So I got Sephiroth, beautiful, and Kazuya.
Also pretty.
Nice.
I mean, the Sephiroth one is
Yeah.
where it's at.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, I mean, I've just been playing Majora's Mask. I mean, I'm currently working my way through the Zelda games as we've talked about leading up to Tears of the Kingdom.
Do you do that every time a Zelda comes out?
Yeah, usually. But this time around, I don't think I'm actually going to make it. I think I'm just going to probably end up short, but we'll see what happens.
Are you going to stop when Tears of the Kingdom comes out?
Yeah, I'm going to jump right to Tears of the Kingdom.
But I'm going to go back to try to finish.
Oh, yeah. I always do. I always do. But yeah, so I mean, right now I'm just playing Majora's Mask, and I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of this week, because I'll probably be done Majora's Mask tomorrow, because I'm going to try to save time between that and Fire Emblem on Friday. So,
Okay.
I don't know. But that's pretty much it for me. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up here at the Game Room Podcast. Thank you for everyone hanging out with us in the chat. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button. We go live here every single Monday night at 9 p.m. unless Comcast fucks me over, in which case we go live usually Tuesdays at 9 p.m. If you like pro wrestling, stick around on the channel. We have the Broken Tables podcast usually on Wednesday nights at 10, Friday nights at 11. I think this week we have a little bit of a weird schedule. Subscribe and stay tuned. You can follow us at our social medias down below. And once again, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Dev, I hope you had a good time tonight.
Yes, I did. I will be back. Hopefully.
Yay.
Fingers crossed, but
Dev will be back.
yeah.
It's like at the end of the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's like
Dev will return.
And once again, Forrest, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy streamer life, your virtual streamer life, to hang out with us.
Thank you for having me. It's always a blast.
Producer.
Absolutely. Producer Jeff on the ones and twos. Killing it. Yeah, he's killing it, doing a great job. Jeff, do you have anything you want to say?
Duty news report.
Feel bad for Jeff. He has to be up early tomorrow. I found out minutes ago.
Okay.
All right, well, that's going to be it for us here. Everyone have a good night.
Bye.